love we're making. This is the love we're making. This is the love we're making all the time. This is the love we're making. This is the love we're making. This is the love we're making all the time. This is the true love we make.
Do they ever charge it back? They try Liquid Hindo, but it never works. I'm serious when I tell you guys, not once in the history of anyone charging me back have they got their money back. Like, I always keep the money. Now, some people have claimed that they got their money back too. If they did, I'm not involved in that. Every single tip I've ever been given by anyone on Twitch, I have kept 100% of the time. I always keep it. So, despite what the morons would like to say, I keep it every time. What? 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 What?
Oh, God.
Oh boy, I hope you guys are ready to start your day right, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Galtopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually kind of excited because for the first time in a very, very long time, I'm almost caught up. I'm almost, which is kind of cool because now I can actually start to branch out a little bit. But I'm kind of glad. There's a backlog I still need to go through also, but some of those other projects that I was thinking about doing, I can actually now do that, and then I can also put another emphasis. I can put some emphasis and or focus on the second channel, which I'm looking forward to, and I have some other neat stuff in the works. So yeah, it's neat. But you guys aren't here for that. You guys aren't here for that. It's nice that that people are that people are invested in that, but you're not actually here for that. Ladies and gentlemen, you are here for this triple header. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DSP. First video of the broadcast. Horror games and my reactionary commentary works well. Second video, Snort Burnell, DSP. YouTube buggy mechanics. And I never put DSP tries behind a paywall. And I am not married to Twitch. Third and final video of the broadcast. Snort Burnell, DSP. Jasper the Troll. Jasper the Troll. Skipping Borderlands 3. Oh wow, why is he gonna... He skipped a lot of really great games so far this year, but it's whatever. And then Twitch bugged mechanics. Oh boy. Oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, where do we start? There's so many goodies here. The horror games and his reactionary commentary. That's a dud. So let's just go ahead and scratch that. We're still going to go over the video, but that's a dud. We all know that's silly, to be honest. For the let's see, the YouTube bug mechanics. I don't know. He said that he's been having problems with videos being demonetized. It's kind of part of the ebb and flow, so it is what it is. Crime a river, and for someone who doesn't allegedly, air quotes, doesn't make a lot of money off YouTube, he sure as hell fights and complains about YouTube a lot. It's almost as if YouTube pays quite well and he's mad about little inconveniences. But that's detractor logic. Don't put any real investment in that. I never put DSP tries its behind paywalls. I can think of, ladies and gentlemen, 2 different instances where I think he's done that. Bear with me. Christmas 2018. Didn't he do a DSP tries its for cereal, which was behind some type of paywall? That whole failed Halloween, that failed Christmas marathon where allegedly, like I said, that room temperature eggnog got him so sick and he couldn't do anything else for the rest of the year, the last week of the year, I should say. But wasn't there a DSP tries it that he did around Christmas or during that marathon, I should say? It's for like a cereal or something, I think. It was something. And wasn't that behind a paywall? Second thing, was it the Nightmare Whopper, which was part of the Halloween horror video game marathon of 2018? It's Tevin's fault. You guys all remember this is iconic. We're almost a year into that. Almost. Wasn't that Whopper that he tried? Or no, it wasn't. Was it a Whopper? No, it was a Whopper. Yeah, but it was a Whopper. Then it had like a chicken sandwich added to it, and there's something else on it too. Whatever it was, I didn't try it, but it had like a green bun or whatnot, and he had cat tape that for him. Wasn't that also part? I'm asking. Wasn't that also behind a paywall? Those are the 2 different situations I can think of, but I'm pretty confident there are other times that he's done that too, as a bonus. But those are the 2 parts that I'm thinking of. If I'm wrong, hey, that's what I'm due here. So no problem. You know what I'm saying? Let's at least clear the air on it. But those are the 2 instances that I can think of. So we'll invest in that as time goes on. And I'm not married to Twitch. The hell he isn't. I mean, if anything has Dark Side Phil, DSP, Phil Burnell whipped in life, 3 things really, but we'll say 2. No, because he's probably lying to his mother anyway. So let's say 2 things. It's Twitch and it's Catherine. God bless them both. Let's see here. On to the next one. Jasper the Troll. I hope Jasper is being a goddamn nuisance to him. I really do. I hope Jasper continues waking his ass up early in the fucking morning, or when Phil's possibly sleeping on his belly like a pig. I hope Jasper jumps up there and sees the pig fur on his back and like pokes at that shit with the claws that he doesn't actually have. I hope he does shit like that. I hope he trolls the hell out of him. And allegedly, and this is just kind of detractor logic, if you will, we think that the Xbox, his Xbox power cable was actually possibly gnawed on by Jasper. Possibly. We don't know. I mean, he keeps the damn thing plugged in, and at times he keeps that Xbox running, so who knows, under reasonable circumstances. But a small part of me likes to think that it's Jasper. Skipping Borderlands 3 is another mistake. He's skipped so many good games this year. Games that would bring a whole lot of attention in. And Phil has this crazy logic, I'm sure some of you have noticed, where, oh, you guys really want me to play this game right now, but I don't think it's going to be that good. And then he'll play it later on in the year, and then when he doesn't get the attention that he wants for it, he'll be like, oh, well, you guys wanted me to play it when it came out brand new, but I didn't have time. Now you guys don't want to see me play it? Stupid logic. It's almost like he's trying really, really hard to go out of his way to disprove detractors that he can be successful without brand new releases. That's what you're regimented. That's what people expect from you. Why break it now? To prove a point that's meaningless to anybody anyway. So, I mean, unless you're trying to prove it to yourself. And then Twitch bug mechanics. Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that Twitch, with all of its amazing decisions, letting Ninja go, not letting Ninja go, I mean, Ninja just chose to leave, turning his front page into basically Pornhub for at least a little while, going ahead and letting Amaran and Alinity drop the N-bomb, letting some random chick breastfeed her child on stream. Speaking of which, let me talk about that for a minute. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have no issue with public breastfeeding. I just don't. The kid needs to eat, you know what I'm saying? Let the kid eat. You know what I'm saying? And there's supposed to be like a bonding and an emotional type of a moment there too, which I think that should be a bit more private, but if the kid gotta eat, the kid gotta eat, right? But I think, and this is just my own personal opinion, I think a woman breastfeeding her child in a public park, for example, is different than a woman breastfeeding her child, broadcasting herself breastfeeding to her child on Twitch. I'm sorry, but I think there's a difference between the two. You know what I mean? I think there's a difference. I think in a public setting like a park or something, you know what I mean? Other adults understand what that is. Most children probably won't notice, and if they do, I'm sure mommy or daddy will explain that shit to them. And everybody kind of just moves on. You kind of just, you know what I'm saying? We're kind of acclimated to think that, you know, that's a normal thing. But you doing it publicly like this, in a public setting, and then broadcasting that shit are two separate things. Especially, I don't know if she's just stupid. I don't know what it is. But Pornhub is a thing. And, like, that's a fetish. Like, you know what I'm saying? Does anybody watch, what the hell is that show called on Netflix? It's based off a comic book. Is it The Boys? I think one of the dudes on there has a fetish with that shit. It's probably the black dude, because it's always a black dude that they give the crazy shit to. Anyway, pretty sure it is actually from the comic book. Yeah, it is. It's, is it Mother's Milk, I think his name is? And that's how he actually gets, I think that's how he replenishes his power, to be honest. Oh, fuck, I need to reread that again. I think that is. Don't take me on my word for that. It's been a hot minute. And I haven't actually watched the Netflix series because I feel like they're going to fuck it up. I know they're going to because there's a lot of messed up shit in that series. That's why it's such a good series. But anyway, sorry. I'm going on a tangent. I just think there's a difference. That's just me. So for her to think that she had won some amazing victory with exploiting her child amongst 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 people who are literally there to see those, and they're not that impressive, by the way, but to see those is a bit egregious, right? Like, you telling me that you can't take 30 minutes to do that off stream? Or 20 minutes, or whatever the case may be? Like, you really felt the need to broadcast that. And then you get mad, and then some of the same thoughts are sitting here getting mad, talking about they can't go to Mixer because of dress code and so on and so forth. Either which way, I'm going off on a tangent. We'll talk about that later. Either which way. What if I told you that this exact same site that's like allowing this same nonsense, right? We can chuck pussies around and do all this amazing shit, decided to promote their guinea pig, their lab monkey, Dark Side Phil. Now, most of you are like, GTG, you nuts. They never do that dumb shit. But I'm not. I'm not. They did it for an hour. For 1 hour, he was part of, for 1 hour on Twitter, he was part of this amazing promotion. Absolutely amazing. Up to this point in the video, in the broadcast, I should say, you've probably already seen it. But I'm going to show it to you guys again. For 1 hour, this post was up. And the truth came out. I'm talking about people came out in force to make sure that Twitch understood the blunder that they made. So much so, in fact, that, yet again, Twitch took the tweet down. Now, let me ask you guys something. If Twitch was really behind their partners, behind Darkside Phil, DSP, Phil Burnell, they love him and he streams and they support him all the way, despite the fact that allegedly he's blacklisted from their bounty board and so on and so forth, and he hates Subway and he doesn't understand the whole September shit, whatever. Either which way, right? They love him and they love his streams. So they, for whatever reason, they decided to promote him. The first time in like 2 years, I think. And the shit gets taken down. They take the shit down within an hour. Now, you would think if a company like, for example, if SnortBucks Coffee, right? Let's say that they were, you know, promoting me. They already endorsed me, but let's say they were promoting me. And let's say I did some type of, you know, public announcement or whatever the case may be, and all of a sudden it gets bombarded on Twitter. Do they stand by you and take the tweet down? Or no, do they stand by you and leave the tweet up and try to defend it? Or do they take the tweet down? It's kind of hard to say depending on where you're going from a business standpoint. I'd like to think that they will take it down for damage control depending on what the allegations are being thrown against me, or put up against me, I should say. What they had on Phil was amazing. Amazing. But it's not just that. Because this is tunnel vision right now. Let's go ahead and broaden our horizons. There was like 3 or 4 other people that was part of this little promotion, this little infomercial, if you will. It's only like 30 seconds or so. And all of them got fucked too. They didn't actually get attacked or spammed or anything, but they kind of got screwed up too because that was their promotional time also. This was their time to shine. Now, most of you are like, okay, GTG, what's all this about, really? Why'd they even do it? Well, with the departure of Ninja, Twitch now, for whatever reason, wants to start focusing on their partners and, in some ways, their affiliates who are not being promoted properly like they should have been. This is Twitch trying to fix their own mistakes. They're trying to put their best foot forward. Air quotes. This is all public PR. It's all spin. That's what they're trying to do. And putting DSP up there, it kind of makes sense. Except for this was a blunder that I don't think anybody could have ever expected. Except if you're a detractor. A detractor would have seen this. A detractor would have understood that this is a bad move and they needed to be clapped for it. And that's what happened. It should have been expected. But it also tells me that they don't really pay attention to Phil. And they don't pay attention to what's going on around him. They used him for their purposes, the trolling and the bullying and all that alleged bullshit that they were trying to do with him 2 years ago to help their bigger partners, mainly the Thoughts. And then they kind of just cast him away. You can stay over there in that little corner. Don't worry. All these people that are flagging you for reasonable reasons, right? Or for valid reasons, we'll just ignore that so we can keep you up there because you've been a partner for a long time. Despite the fact that you were being a piggy little bitch and you wanted to run off of our site and go back to YouTube because we said that your bitrate was too high. That's the real reason why I left, by the way. Praise be. He can confirm that. With that being said, let's go ahead and go into the failure, which is the Twitch promotion. Because there's a little something else that I left out of there. We'll see if you guys catch it. This will be your second time watching it, so hopefully you guys do. And then we'll get into the broadcast proper, yeah? So, sorry, I can taste that sweet porky goodness right now. I'll see you guys in just a second. Oh, it's so good! It's so good!
What? 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 What?
Oh, God.
One more time, just in case you didn't actually catch what it was that they Twitch messed up on. Besides putting Darkside Phil up there with people who probably give a damn about what they do anyway. One more time. Oh, yes.
What? 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 What?
Oh, God.
Oh, Twitch. That's Twitch at their finest. Oh boy, that was good shit. That was real good. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you guys all caught this because you guys are all sharp cookies. Phil, this goes out to you and any of your supporters that may or may not be watching. Why the hell couldn't they spell your name right? Why couldn't they have done that for you, Phil? They chose to put you up there and anybody who was in charge of that couldn't even spell your name right? Couldn't slide a Y in there? Did they think it was stupid and that's why they spelled it the right way? Hurtful! So hurtful. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into the broadcast proper because that's why you guys are here. Thank you for entertaining me. I very much appreciate it. Yet again, we are still working out some of the details for this Detractor awards as well as the I don't know if I want to call it the Universal Detractor Tournament or the whatever I'm going to call it, the Universal Street Fighter Tournament. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. Also, I see that some people have kind of reached out on Twitter and in the comment section and said, man, we don't really have access to Ultra Street Fighter 4, but we do have access to Street Fighter 5. So maybe I can do a poll here, because I do have a community tab. So I can try putting up a poll here, and then a couple days later I'll put one up on Twitter, and we'll see kind of how the results look. And then maybe we can try to come to some type of middle ground and whatnot, try to form a consensus, and see if we can try to... I'd like to try to get as many people to participate as possible. So we'll see how we work that out in the upcoming weeks. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all in the brainstorming phase of it all. So there's no commitments or anything like that. And especially if this doesn't go down until next year, there's a whole lot of time to get things figured out, and so on and so forth. And that I haven't even really reached out to anybody yet. I know that Paul W. said that he would be interested in commentating. Agent Proper would be interested in commentating. I don't know what James Lesser's into yet. And then I will have to reach out to some other people. I'm not sure if Ghostly Wins is interested in participating or doing commentary. I think he'd be great at either one. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll see. But we'll give that a little bit of time, and then, like I said, any feedback that you have on that is very much appreciated. And let's get into let's get into the broadcast proper, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network of Productions. You guys all know the slogan. I don't smell no bacon cooking yet, but I'm on it though. I'm on it. Though I may have actually cooked a pan already for myself because I was greedy, and I did it celebrating Twitch and their blunder. But either which way, I don't smell no bacon cooking yet, so it's time to watch me work, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, I may have taken a little too much glee in that, just a little bit.
Let's play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
The first game.
Sounds good to me too. Sorry, sounds good to me too. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DSP. Horror games and my reactionary commentary works well. Defiant sniff. Here we go.
We'll be playing today on my main gameplay stream right here is called The Dark Pictures Anthology Man of Medan. And you might say, well, what the hell is a Dark Pictures Anthology? What is Man of Medan? What is this? Well, you may remember a little game that I played many years ago. I want to say it was 2015, because I believe it was. And it was actually the very tail end of the summer as well. It was, I believe, August. And I played a game called Until Dawn. This was a game from a studio called Supermassive Games. And it was very movie-esque and very reminiscent of 1980s slasher film kind of horror, okay? It was about a bunch of kids who were basically in a cabin, and they were having some kind of like a trip, a vacation or whatever, and there was all kinds of relationships between them. Some of them liked each other. They were ex relationships, and some of them were new relationships. You had all this tension.
Oh shit, Phil got $273 yesterday? I bet you anything he's gonna cry broke in a couple of days. I guarantee it. Because it's just what Phil does. Oh boy.
Of youth and love and everything, which typically is usually a part of horror-themed movies from the 1980s. And then you had this supernatural theme where there was a killer who was hunting them down, but at the same time there was a supernatural element that apparently there were monsters out in the forest. And it was a really cool plot, and I really enjoyed the game. I didn't know anything about it when I played it, and I just kind of approached it like a 1980s horror flick. And it worked out really well. Just my reactionary commentary.
The reactionary content is the worst kind of content. It's like, I have nothing to say or do myself. I can't do anything creative or positive for myself. So instead, I take what other people say and do, and then I comment on it. That's not creative content. That's the easiest way out. Live reaction to something is basically you overreacting to get a response from your viewership. And it works because people are gullible.
Ended up
Apparently. Apparently.
being one of the best playthroughs, in my opinion, I think I've ever done. And that was 4 years ago, okay? So, you know, in 4 years, a lot happens. I am now more of a live reactionary streamer than anything else. But the cool thing here is that now I get to share these kind of experiences with you guys live, and I get to see your live reactions and everything. Not to say I didn't do that with Until Dawn, I did. And that was actually one of the few games where it was like a creepy interactive vibe, because I got to see your reactions to things that were going on in the game live as well, okay? So, this is exciting to me, not only because, do I love horror? I do, I love horror games, but Until Dawn was a game that I absolutely really enjoyed years ago, and if they end up coming out with more of this series, and they're all kind of, every few months we get a cool, entertaining, unique experience, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, alright? So let's see today. That's Man of Medan is the first in this series, alright? And we're going to find out how this turns out. Now, from what I'm to understand, the game has multiple endings. And what people are saying is if you want to see kind of both major plot lines of the game, you have to play it twice.
Didn't the previous installment of the game have multiple endings too? Like, depending on what choices you made, like if you save certain people or you let certain people die, or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, I guess it kind of falls in line, so I don't know why he said that, like he was kind of surprised. He should have known that. I mean, then again, it adds to the replay value of the game, which he should be more than willing to play a game multiple times to get multiple endings. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
If the money's good, he'll definitely do it.
Resident Evil, excuse me. Much like Resident Evil, there's like a side A and a side B. So what we're going to do today is going to do the main playthrough, just cold turkey. I don't know what to expect. We're just going to play through the game once and see what happens. Oh my god. Oh my god, I can't stop burping all of a sudden. Excuse me. Whew. I didn't even have breakfast or anything today. I don't even know what I'm burping from. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. Now, from what I'm to understand, alright, this game is only 4 hours long. But that's because they want you to play it more than once. They want you to play it at least twice to see all the different scenarios, side A and side B. Now, also, apparently, there's, like, ridiculous amount of endings, but they're determined by how many people survive, and obviously the more people that survive, the better ending you get. So the goal is to try to save everyone, but I seriously doubt that we're going to be able to save everyone in the first playthrough, not knowing what the hell's going on. Okay? Maybe the second playthrough we'll be able to? Alright, but I don't know. I guess we're going to find out.
Also, and like I said, this is just me, and I've pointed this out before, but do you have to look at every game that you play in this by the span of hours? I feel like that takes all the fun out of it, if you do it that way. Just take the game at face value and just move with it. But everything has to be a strict calculation. You know what I mean? It's just, you're demeaning the game like that. He's actually devaluing the game by doing it like that. You're kind of robbing people of the experience. You know what I mean? Especially if they plan to play the game themselves. I could see why so many people skipped watching Phil when they played God of War, for example. So, just a thought.
Now, later tonight, on my late night stream, we've got another horror-themed game. That's right. Now, many of you may not even remember this, but back in the 1990s, the late 1990s, there was a movie that started a craze in the horror movie genre. It was called The Blair Witch Project. Today, we're going to be checking out Blair Witch the game. And apparently what this is supposed to be is based off of the plot of the Blair Witch lore. You're heading into these woods with your dog, and apparently you're getting hunted by a creature, or whatever it may be.
That game is horrible. I'm sorry. That game is horrible. It's really, really bad. And whatnot. I can kind of understand what they were going for, I should say. It's just not very good. It's really not very good at all. It feels almost like a bare bone walking simulator. But I mean, to each their own. But Oi!
Will there actually be a creature to hunt you? Or will it be more like the first Blair Witch movie, where you don't see anything and there's just psychological horror? I have no idea. I don't know what to expect with this game. We saw it at E3 for the first time, and it seems intriguing. I don't know how long the game's gonna be.
That's what makes the first Blair Witch work, though. It's the fact that you don't see anything. Like, once they feed you the mythology of the Blair Witch, right? Then you're in the woods, you can't see anything, and theoretically the aspect of the story is already scaring you. And then when you find out that one of the dudes ended up actually kicking the map, and they see all the little trinkets and everything, it was the first one's a classic. The second one, I mean, I don't know. The second one was alright. It wasn't great, but it was alright. I mean, you know, for what it was. I didn't think the second one was that bad. I think it gets shit on for no reason. I mean, it was, let's be honest, it was a cash grab. You know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be a simulation of people trying to cash in on the whole craze. So, and it worked out kind of like how you would expect it to be honest with you. So, I don't know. I thought the second one wasn't too bad. But the first one is, it's what you don't see that scares you. That's how it's supposed to work. Yet again.
But that's going to be my late stream tonight. Now, here's the cool thing. Later tonight, once it gets dark outside, I'm going to turn off the lights in my office.
Sorry. Also, once they couldn't figure out how to get out, they couldn't remember their way, like, they couldn't remember the way out and everything like that. They kicked the map into the fucking creek and shit, and then they started turning on each other. Like, it made you feel it. It made you feel it and shit when they started ripping into each other like that. That was nuts. But like I said, good stuff.
One little light on.
I'm a mature adult, and I'm not a children's entertainer.
And I'm going to play it in the dark. And I'm going to have my door open, so if Jasper, my cat, wants to come in and join us, he can. And it would be pretty funny if, like, we're playing it, and all of a sudden Jasper, like, does something to scare the shit out of all of us. That element of surprise could be there, okay?
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Blair Witch. As you can see, I'm in the dark. People wanted me to play this game in the dark, so here I am in the dark playing Blair Witch tonight. It is the premiere day. The game just came out. Playing it on Xbox One, FYI. I got it under Game Pass. Pretty cool. I'm playing in the dark, although I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see me on this webcam.
That's probably the most color I've ever seen on film. To be honest. I mean, despite the fact that you can't see them.
They're like, oh, I'll make it darker. So I did, and now you guys probably can't even see me.
Now, with that being said, to be honest, and it's just this one instance, but just look at it as a whole. Does Phil really need a webcam? Really? Does it really provide really anything at all? It's simply just clown mode. You know what I'm saying? Just let that shit go. It's not worth it. I don't know. It's just my opinion. I'm biased.
Yesterday, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who attended it. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did not check out the Rageathon, if you weren't available to be here, you missed out on some good stuff. You missed out on some not so good stuff. I always knew this was going to happen whenever we do a marathon like this with a variety of games. Typically, some are great and some aren't so great. The Rageathon was good. It was successful, by the way. I want to say thanks to everyone who attended, anyone who contributed. It was really well.
I don't know about all that nonsense. I think he only made like $100+. It wasn't shit. The Street Fighter V segment, that shit was great. It was so good to see him get mad at that shit. It was refreshing. Everything else was just kind of a snore fest. That's pretty much what it was. But Street Fighter V, though, did not disappoint. Not at all.
Really well received.
I like how you're laughing, too.
Well, it's funny.
Out of all the games I played, there's high potential that I will be going back someday to both Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind as a chill stream and as Ninja Gaiden Black as an actual playthrough, alright? So I'm not writing those off. I own the games, and I would definitely consider going back to play them again in the future, just not right now, with all the new releases
if he can get people to pay him to do it.
Everything we're handling. There's no way that I can get to those now, but there's potential I will eventually play those in the future. Okay?
Sound good?
By far, tipping me today helps me more than anything. For more than a couple of reasons. First of all, tipping me allows me to afford all the upcoming new releases. There's a lot of new releases coming up in the month of September, and so when you tip me, those are funds that I can put straight towards that. Number two, tipping me gives me those funds right away to do whatever I need to do. And being very honest with all of you, there's a bill coming up that I was supposed to pay by the end of the month. It's looking like I'm not going to be able to afford it unless I raise a significant amount of money in the next 2 days. So it's just going to have to wait. I don't know what else to do about it. And then in early September, a ton of my bills come due. All my major bills, including my mortgage and everything, come due in early in the month, like the first week. So any tips that you guys give me during the streams go straight towards that stuff. And that's why tipping helps me more than anything.
Please. Ayúdame. Por favor. Es muy importante.
A concerned African-American, actually I screwed that up, it's Afro-American man, who tipped me $1.95 saying that I titled my stream saying that I'm spooked, but that word used in a different version is a racial term that's very offensive to African-Americans. To which I say, that's nice, I understand your concern. However, you understand I'm not using the term like that, and just because it might be a variation that is something offensive doesn't mean that I'm using it in an offensive manner. And essentially what I'm telling you is stop letting language have control over your life. I'm certainly not saying that words aren't offensive and don't have power. They do. But when you take a term that's not even the offensive term and say because it might be close to it, it's offensive, you're giving context to a word in a negative way, and you're giving that word power. So you're basically being afraid of a fucking word, right, is making it worse than it needs to be. How about you just say, oh, okay, well, I understand that word's offensive if used in a certain way. It's not being used that way, so good. You know? That's ridiculous. Saying the word, spooky is a word that's always been used when it comes to horror or scary things. Time to grow up and stop giving words power when they don't deserve it. How about that?
And what are the buzzwords that can get you banned over there? Just out of curiosity? I mean, just saying. If we're just gonna go ahead and let shit go, right? I'm not saying that he's even wrong in that situation, because he's not. But why does he have banned words and phrases over there, though? Why are we giving all those things over there, those memes, power? Why can't we just go ahead and let them go? Why can't we just let it roll off our little piggy baby backs? I just thought I'd ask. I was just curious.
Let's continue. Philly Buckeye did a 50-bit cheer. He says you should wear a Jasper costume and give Jasper a goatee. Oh my god. And Philly Buckeye would have been the top cheerer, but someone else cheered more than that, so. Let's continue on. Gaming Tycoon tipped me $2 and says, so you aren't playing Greedfall because of their track record, which is understandable, but what makes you drawn towards Blair Witch? It's the same shitheads that put out Layers of Fear 2, which was trash. Well, a couple reasons. The first is because Blair Witch at least has a tie-in to another franchise, alright? It has a tie-in to a plot from something else, unlike Layers of Fear 2, which had ties to nothing and was an original concept that fell flat on its face because it had no ending, okay? At the very least, we can get some chills being in a forest, isolated, wondering if something is stalking us. That's kind of a creepy premise, in my opinion. Now, you're absolutely right. The game may fall flat on its fucking face. You're right, Gaming Tycoon. However, thank goodness for Microsoft Game Pass, because I didn't have to buy the game. Unlike Layers of Fear 2, which I paid like $30 for earlier this year and was so pissed because the ending was complete dog shit. With Blair Witch, I paid nothing. A fan donated 3 months of Game Pass to me, which allows me to now play the game in its entirety, and zero risk. That's why I'm playing Blair Witch. So there you go. Now,
well, what about all the Nintendo Switch games that you skipped? And what was going to be the risk for you there? Someone else more than likely were going to buy those games for you anyway. And they all come from relatively reputable studios. They have pretty positive track records. And those games are proven to be successful even now, moving forward. So what's your reason for skipping those? You wanted to tie into a movie? So what? There are plenty of games that are tied in the movies that don't do well. Didn't he not like the Friday the 13th joint? Well, besides the fact that, that guy who roasted him about Panda and shit. I mean, just throwing it out there.
Greedfall, yeah, I don't know if I want to play it. Some people are saying it's great, some people are saying, they're skeptical.
What happened to the days of, if you want to play a game, just play it. Don't sit there and wait on other people's opinions, and don't take other people's opinions to heart. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do it, just do it. Stop being a sheep and depending on other people to make decisions for you. What happened to those days? Wow.
Game, it's basically a wait-and-see attitude for me. I'm not 100% saying I'm zero interest and I don't want to play it at all, but I'd rather wait and see. I'd rather have other people play it first, see if it's good, and if they tell me it's good, then I'll consider playing it in September, and that's the approach I'm taking, okay? So hopefully you feel this is a legitimate justification.
It's not. Not at all. Especially not with your track record. And by the time he does decide to get around to it, it'll be dead. Well, it won't be dead, but no one's going to want to watch him play it. Because those people would already be convinced to play it themselves. Everybody else would have a playthrough out before Phil does. He's kind of killing his own marketing scheme. Like, if you sat there and christened yourself, and I use that term loosely, as being the guy who plays all the new releases and playing them first, to have them out there on YouTube so you can be at least within the top 10 people that are viewed, doing it the way you're doing it is only catering to a core audience which is shrinking more and more by the day. I'm surprised that YouTube hasn't done one of their sub purges, or at least they haven't done it in a little while, and he hasn't dropped to 100,000 plus. And even though he hasn't, or even let's say he wouldn't do that under that circumstances, or his channel wouldn't, I should say, the viewership still isn't there. So then where's all the support? Yet again, why put all this emphasis on YouTube when no one is, not, I wouldn't say no one, but when the vast majority of people aren't watching? They're not engaging with the content. And they have no reason to be honest. Because if you don't have a comment section, and for most games they don't have a like and dislike, I said most, then there's nothing there. If he thinks that the draw is the game, then he's mistaken. He's a fool. And he deserves all the failure that he gets from it.
Choices, at least at this point. All right. Wings and DSP collab tipped me $1. He says, "Yo, Big Pimp, can I get it unbanned?" No.
Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic.
All right, I gotta tell you guys, this is one of the most hilarious things ever. All right. So this guy, Wings and DSP collab, was basically saying things constantly about Wings of Redemption, and he was violating stream rules and stuff. He got banned. Yesterday, he messages me. He sends me an email, and he says, "Phil, I'm really sorry that I mentioned Wings so much in your stream chat. Can you please unban me? I swear that I'll never talk about Wings again. By the way, my name on Twitch is Wings and DSP collab." Oh my god.
Lol.
I'm never gonna mention Wings again, but Wings is in my fucking Twitch name. Anyway, I'm not even gonna comment. We're just gonna move on. Activist tipped me $1. He says, "Why do you have a pre-stream picture with you having dreads? You're not black or Rastafarian. Stay in your own lane, Fredo." Well, it's because, as you guys may not realize this, but I am a cultural appropriator. What I do is I absorb
Bunnies.
all of the important things about other cultures, and I claim them for my own, so that I can further promote myself, everywhere on the planet. So,
So was that what you were going to do with T before he passed away? You were going to absorb all of his, Street Fighter knowledge and whatnot, so you could be considered one of the best players in the United States before he met his tragic end? I know that was a really low blow, but I just figured I'd ask. Because you do seem, as a parasite, you do seem to let's reword that. You have a tendency and a history of absorbing the nutrients from other people, and when those people aren't useful to you, or those people just out and out leave, you're kind of stuck. It is a thing. Just saying. May have not been ever worded that way, but certainly what it is.
one day I may be Rastafarian, the next day I'm Chinese. That's what I do. I'm a full-on, 100% cultural appropriator. I like to call myself the culture chameleon. Every day I can be something different. And I steal all of your ideas and your cultural stereotypes for my own personal gain. I'm just a horrendous human, and I deserve absolutely nothing good. I'm just a terrible person, and this is what I do. Okay?
Well, I'm glad you're able to be honest with yourself, because I don't know why it had to lead down that rabbit hole, but since you're willing to put yourself there, might as well.
Every day, I'm doing something different on my streams to culturally appropriate.
So, there you go. You've exposed me for who I am, and now I'm sure that I'm going to fade into obscurity for being a sick person.
Continuing on. My barber has Parkinson's. What is going on? My barber has Parkinson's. Tip me $1 and says, he gave me a scratch and sniff goatee that smells like bacon and pennies.
Oh.
What the fuck is going on? What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck?
That sweet, sweet bacon. That sweet, sweet porky goodness.
This is going to be an interesting day. We're already off to an interesting start. I don't know what the fuck is happening. M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong. Actually, his name is M. Night Shyamalan, but I said Shyamalama Ding Dong. Tip me $1 and says, plot twist, the real horror is watching you wither away before our eyes. That's right. In reality, every day that you're on my streams and you watch me stream is another day that you're watching me die. It's true. Because every day...
it actually kind of is. But with that being said, let's go ahead and segue into something a bit more calming and a bit more appropriate. Ladies and gentlemen, SnortBucks coffee. I love SnortBucks coffee. It's the best part of waking up. Its smooth texture and its delicious aroma allows me to stay sane while going through what is the pig shit that is DSP. DSP, Dark Side Phil, Dspgaming. His failure continues to fill my cup. And his anger that fuels him and makes his hoof feel powerful continues to heat the piping hot flames that steams my coffee. SnortBucks. It's the coffee that you deserve. For the failure that DSP deserves. SnortBucks coffee. The best part of waking up is with SnortBucks in your cup. It doesn't come in decaffeinated. Sorry.
One day closer to death. And I've been creating content for the internet for 11 years, and I've been doing these daily live streams with webcam for 2.5. So every single day that you're here, you're seeing me die a little bit more.
I mean, to be honest with you, looking at your approach to games and how when the money doesn't show up and how you instantly react to it, it's kind of appropriate, to be honest with you. I feel like, in a lot of ways, you are watching Phil wither away, literally day by day by day. You have an individual in front of you, right, who has no plan and no concept of just future activities moving forward. He doesn't actually have anything to work towards. He doesn't want a family, which is fine if that's the case. He doesn't want a family. He doesn't have any drive to build anything, hence the reason why everybody who's more successful than him, he has to destroy. And if you're not building something, then you're destroying. Pure and simple. Even if you're not destroying them. He can't destroy PewDiePie. He can't even nick PewDiePie. So all of that animosity, in a lot of ways, just comes back on himself. He's literally destroying himself. He's dismantling himself. And he's willing to pull down anybody else that he can with him, and to make him feel good. Which is funny because he says detractors do that. But if you've ever actually spoken to any other detractors on whatever your platform of choice is, they're all actually really nice people. Phil isn't. Phil isn't a nice person. Most of the people around him are just kind of mindless drones anyway. They could be nice people, but given their circumstances and or situations, they're not. They're just drones. I mean, it is what it is. If nothing else, if you have any faith in anybody over there in the Pig Roach cult, have faith for those people that they'll actually wake up and get out and actually do something productive, hopefully, outside of losing their time and sadly, well, losing their money, but losing their time, sadly, to someone who has already given up, who has chosen to siphon off of other people for his own financial gain, and to be honest with you, more of a, I wouldn't say spiritual, but I would say more of a emotional substance, I guess, because he thrives on negativity. He always has. He's always been that way. He's always been that way. He's always thrived off negativity. So that whole DSP positive nonsense that he proposed all those years ago meant nothing. I'm surprised more people didn't see through it. And what I mean by more people, I mean people who were actually part of his fan base at that time. You guys weren't drawn to him because of anything positive or anything really worthwhile. He was a spurg on the internet. Like, there was nothing really more than that, to be honest. But then again, I mean, everybody feels differently about it, so, you know, it is what it is. Can't wait to talk to more people about it, though.
Yeah, I won't be here anymore.
Disturbing and disgusting.
And that's the true horror, is our own mortality. Okay. Thanks for the $1 tip.
Like, I know I'm an adult. I'm not a 2-year-old. Devour.
Dolan Dark cheered. He says, why did you get mad about someone calling you a clown? For me, there were moments when you acted like one. Don't deny it. Who got mad? When did I get mad? What are you talking about? I was describing the tools of my craft. I forgot to also mention, the bottle of seltzer water that I squirt. I also forgot to mention, when I say, boys and girls, let's see. What else did I forgot to mention the banana cream pie that I throw around and the big spinning bow tie that I wear on my neck. I forgot about all that. Actually, I'm not offended. I'm not offended. I gotta keep, the confetti that I throw, right? The banana peel that I slip on. We can keep going all day if you guys want me to. Okay, let's continue.
Who? What the fuck? Like, huh?
Clown.
I mean, when was the last time there was even a piece of fruit in that house besides cherry juice? Just throwing it out there.
The new Fredo tipped me $1 and said, woo-hoo-hoo, shucks and tarnations, folks. That's right.
As you know, I am an avid actress who is always trying to make money. Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going into video 2 of our broadcast. I will see you guys literally in just a second.
Just gone.
This is how to play the game. Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
One can only hope. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the second video of our broadcast. Snort Burnell, DSP. YouTube bug mechanics. I never put DSP tries it behind a paywall, and I am not married to Twitch. Define sniff. Here we go.
Every day there's some new nonsense that happens on YouTube that just pisses me off. Like, for example, last night I get notification that Blair Witch Part 2, that's right, my Blair Witch playthrough, Part 2 has been flagged as not appropriate for all ages, so therefore it has no ads on it. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, so what it is there's a scene where you discover a dead body. And the dead body, honestly, looks kind of realistic. It's like a brutal murder. And because of that, they it's not suitable for all ages. I'm like, so YouTube cannot tell me.
Oh, wow. That was a good snort. That was pretty appropriate.
Difference between fantasy and reality. They can't. They think that a fantasy game that's a horror game, it's themed to be horror, and obviously in a horror game, you're going to have some dead bodies. That's the point of a horror game, right? They can't make the determination between fake and real. So if someone posted up a real dead body, right, that could be demonetized. But if you post up a fake dead body randomly in a video game, sometimes that'll get demonetized too. It's just stupidity. And that's why I literally do not rely on YouTube anymore for income. I can't. Can you imagine?
Yet we're crying and complaining about it because it pissed him off, as he's readily admitted. He admitted also that it was pretty realistic, and so that's why it was demonetized. But then, Phil, with that being said, you know, fantasy and reality, right? Mortal Kombat. Plenty of people have had their videos demonetized over fatalities as well as other things. Now, keep in mind, Mortal Kombat goes out of its way to be gory, but same situation. Or, let's take something that's still actually rather controversial in the Call of Duty community. Call of Duty itself. People get their videos demonetized for that bullshit all the time. Not just the multiplayer, but the people who actually still go back and play the story mode, or not story mode, but campaign mode in older games. That shit gets demonetized too. And I'm not even talking about the whole Russian mission, because god dog, this is brutal. But just, you know what I mean? Just in general. YouTube is going to nitpick at whatever the case may be. Dispute it, and more often than not, it gets brushed away. If it don't, take the L. As you said, it's an archive. You take a hit, you take a hit. And now you're sitting here explaining to us that you don't rely on it anyway. So why are we even complaining about it? Whatever you can get off of it is whatever you can get off of it. Everything else is just pig shit in the wind. What's the point? And it sounds like Twitch is carrying the day anyway. So either he's speaking out of just pure and unadulterated greed, or he's blatantly lying to you and saying that he really needs the money. But the thing is even with what little YouTube money is coming in, right? His words, not mine. He's still bitching and complaining about how he can't make bills. So how is he going to tell you, I don't rely on this source of income, when he's always broke and he can't afford games and bills go unpaid? He obviously needs it. That's why he's complaining about it. And he can't say that he stopped relying on it, because he's going to always bitch about it. He's always going to complain about it. It's what Phil does. If Phil didn't have to leave YouTube, i.e. if he didn't screw himself out of his machinima contract when he did, and if he never had to go to Twitch, he would always complain about YouTube bullshit, but he would still be on the platform. Phil is over on Twitch because he has to, not because he wants to. And it's probably a good thing too, because he can't get rid of all of us. So, you know what I mean? That's a thing. So, yet again, just have them, just ask more people on YouTube to support your Patreon. Plenty of them did anyway, or they used to anyway. See if you can draw them back in.
Try to be a content creator and still rely on YouTube with all the stupid shit that happens. So I rely primarily on you guys to crowdfund my streams.
Understand
he really
that.
needs to tell them that they're crowdfunding his lifestyle, because that's really what it is now. We've gone beyond the stream. We've gone beyond his air quotes business. We're certainly beyond save the house. It's literally you're funding his lifestyle and everything that comes with it, positive or negative.
Contributions are mandatory.
All right, Turkey Burger did a 50-bit cheer and says, now that you have embraced the Why My Toxic meme, there's a cool remix of you using the sound clip. You should give it use during the pre-stream. And then he gave me a link. I haven't looked at it. Maybe I will give it a look. I don't know. Maybe I won't. It depends on time. Today I'm going to be very busy doing a ton of shit between the streams. So I don't know if I'll have any time to look at it today, but...
Too busy to watch a 3-minute video, I assume. Yeah, you can watch the tractor content all day. Alright.
Thank you for the suggestion, and thank you for the cheer. You're the first cheer of the day. Let me get you up on the leaderboard. Continuing on, Darkside Felipe did a 50-bit cheer. Said, morning, Phil. Really enjoyed the stream yesterday, and looking forward to the conclusion. Is Jasper joining us? Not for this game, as you guys know. Jasper joins us for the late streams. During the daytime, he spends time with Cat while Cat is home. So he'll be spending time with Cat today, and then maybe later tonight he'll join us. It depends, because I know Cat might actually not be going to work today for various reasons. I'm not sure. I have to confirm with her what's going on. But maybe I could still leave the door open tonight. Anyway, it really depends, because if Cat is home,
that's a weird way of explaining shit. Also, and I know this isn't just me. I know it's not just me. But has anybody noticed that Cat is home more and more often? Not saying that she's quit her job or anything, but she just seems to be home much more frequently. Seems odd, yeah? Now, granted, the theory had been thrown out beforehand that, oh, well, maybe the reason why Jasper doesn't join us on the early streams is because, obviously, he's hanging out with Cat, and Cat doesn't work until late afternoon, early evening. He's tried to tell us this. But then he also said that she was working a morning shift too. Then he said that sometimes she was working in mid. But it seems like more and more frequently that she's been staying home, or that she's been home, I should say, more and more often. And now he's saying that she's taking a mysterious day off for some unknown reason that he can't go into because he don't know. Interesting.
she's going to be playing some games, and if she does, then I have to have my door closed, or else you're going to hear Skyrim across the hall. So let's see what happens tonight. I don't know yet, but either way, I'll have the light down real dark again for Blair Witch later tonight. The goat laugh counter tipped me $1. So we already settled that your laugh does not sound like ack ack, and is a negative depiction of yours. What about the goat laugh?
Oh my god! This is great! Oh my god!
You fill the dead air with. Is that a positive meme? Do you use it subconsciously or on purpose? Can we say it in the chat? I'm not even aware. I guess it's a meme now. A goat laugh. Okay. How does a goat laugh? I guess I would have to hear that and see if it actually sounds like a goat laugh or not. Okay. I don't necessarily think that a goat laugh is a bad thing, right? I don't think that sounds terrible or whatever. I don't know how a goat laughs. You would think a goat would laugh like a sheep, like meh. I'm pretty sure when I laugh, I don't go meh. Right? Then again, maybe that's not how a goat laughs. I don't know how a fucking goat laughs. I don't have a goat. I think I've seen goats maybe like 4 times ever in my life going to petting zoos and stuff when I was a kid. There you go, $1 tip from Goat Laugh Counter. I really don't give a shit. Seriously, like, this is such kiddie stuff at this point. It really is, like, the stuff that people do to try to get laughs and try to create memes so that people will keep, oh, this viral feeling of belonging because we all say the same thing. When Phil laughs, we all say it sounds like a goat, and then we feel like we belong because we all have the same...
Well, you have the goat laugh, you have the snake laugh, you have what sounds like a weird seal being violated in the worst way possible, sometime a walrus. I mean, there's a bunch of laughs, Phil. Call it the mini voice, the mini noises that comes out of Darkside Phil. You should turn that into a shirt. That'd make a really good shirt.
Hive mind mentality because we're brainless idiots.
All I can taste is the saltiness.
I mean, okay, fine. Go ahead. If you want to be a lemming, go right ahead and have that hive mind mentality of, because you feel that you have like a meme established that everyone says when something happens on my streams, if you feel like that gives you value, I guess you can do that. For me, that's like incredibly immature, and that's something that like a child does to feel like they have friends. When in reality, you know, most people don't need
Coming
to do that.
from an individual who has no friends, who sold them all up the river for money. Let me give you an example. So, you guys remember, I think it was his first retrospective stream, yeah? That was the one where at the end of the stream, he ended up going through all of his Project 7 stuff. A nice little walk down memory lane, yeah? And at the end of that, once he put it up on... actually, I think he had the most views at the time, too, on that segment, too. Big ups on that. But when he actually put it up on YouTube, it didn't have the same generic retrospective part, yada, 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 like the other ones did. He purposely put up a thumbnail of him, John, and Howard. And he got called out for it. If I remember correctly, it was on Twitter. It was definitely probably by some of the people on his streams, and you know, in that in that mod chat, and I'm sure on his own forums. And he ended up changing it like the next day or like the day after. But how much of a rather pathetic individual must you be, right, to sit there and try to milk your friends through a thumbnail, off of a thumbnail, I should say. How much of a pathetic individual must you be? How butthurt must you be at them still that you want to get whatever little cash you could off of them on top, outside of the stream itself, that you would throw them into your thumbnail so more people would click on it? It's hurtful. It's really hurtful from a whole and from a whole situation that he instigated. He started that whole situation that had that whole friendship dissolve. You know what I mean? That was all his fault. It wasn't theirs. He threw this, you know what I'm saying? He was the one who cast the first stone, and they fought back. And then he tried to suppress it. And then he has this mysterious response that no one has heard. Or some people heard, but no one remembers. Which is a shame that I'd love to see that. Maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Because they don't feel like worthless, and they don't try to give themselves value by saying, I understand a meme. Especially because I mean, what does a goat sound like? Meh. Okay, that's what I sound like when I laugh. Okay, from now on, I'm just going to say when something's funny, I'm going to go, instead of going, ha ha ha, or ha 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 ha, I'm going to say, meh. That's what I'll do on streams from now on. Okay, and then maybe you'll have some validity to what you're saying. Or, you could actually grow a pair of balls and grow a brain and be your own individual. And stop parroting things that other people tell you to say so that you feel like you're somebody. And actually have some kind of individual, like, identity, you know. But, you know, that, like I said, that takes balls, and that actually takes, like, self-determination and you know, feeling of self-worth, and not just following a group mentality. So, you actually have to be, like, a strong individual to do that, and not many people are like that, you know.
But you're not a very strong individual either, since you have to base your opinions on what games to play off other people who have already made their money and already, you know, kind of received their views. Why can't you just go ahead and... Why can't you just go out and just play the games that you think that are interesting, which usually any games that you play are terrible anyway. So let's reword that. Why won't you actually play the games that your audience wants you to play? Why not that? And he can't throw the reason out, ladies and gentlemen, anymore, that, oh, I don't have the money for it, when they are funding it. If they're not sending him the codes directly, they're going through the Amazon wish list. Or they're sending him credits. He has no excuse for not playing the games that people want to play outside of, well, play the games that people want him to play. Outside of his well-established reasoning that he doesn't want to play it. He wants to play what he wants. And gets mad that it gets no viewership. Gets mad that he doesn't make any money off it. Gets mad that there's no support. And there's not enough contributions. And then we get into the silly shit about, oh, I don't know what happened, guys. The stream earlier today was like super slow, man. It was the slowest stream I've ever had. Everybody came in and they loved the game and they were being super supportive and positive, but no one really contributed though. I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. Then you get sad pig-splaining like that.
Salty aftertaste in my mouth.
Timbo Slice cheered and said a lot of games are M-rated these days. Do you and other people wait. Wait. I can't even read this.
You're an idiot.
Basically what he's saying is YouTube age restrictions are weird, and, you know, age restrictions on videos on YouTube aren't like age restrictions on games. And he's right. Like, there's a lot of M-rated games, right? And it's supposed to be for, what is that, ages 17 or up or whatever? Here's the thing, and here's the truth of the matter, is age restrictions are stupid and don't work. Because age restrictions are based on when someone creates an account on YouTube, they put in, oh, this is how old I am. You could have a 5-year-old who says they're 27 years old, and there's nothing to verify that on YouTube. So all you need to do on YouTube to see adult-rated content...
So you propose that people show ID? You do realize you can fake an ID, right? Because don't get me wrong, Phil's not the first person to propose the nonsense he's about to go into. And it won't work. Now, granted, he's right. Anybody can make a YouTube account. I think the age is like 13? Maybe even 16? That might be 13. Same thing with like Facebook. I'm pretty confident. But people lie about this shit all the time. A lot of people lie what gender they are. It is what it is. You can't stop that. Either which way, why are we still complaining about a video that has been hit as age restricted when yet again he doesn't depend on YouTube as a source of revenue anyway, and it's just an archive. It doesn't prevent people in his core audience from watching it. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, the same people who watch his tired videos are going to keep watching his tired videos. It's not going to change anything.
Say you're older than you are, and you immediately have access to all of that content. I mean, you have to be a real moron to create an account on YouTube and say you're 5 years old, and now you can't see age-restricted content. You know, how dumb can you be? So age restrictions don't work at all. They're completely stupid.
But
now,
if it was benefiting you, you wouldn't complain about it. Is that not hypocritical? I understand what he's saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm just being an asshole about it. But in truth, if it was working in his favor, he wouldn't have shit to say about it. Kind of like the nonsense that was going on, just like the nonsense that was going on Twitch for the longest time. He didn't say shit about that in the beginning because, one, he felt like it didn't affect him, and two, he was scared. He was scared. He only came out and recently said it because the bigger and bigger names are now out there and he thinks he's safe. It's kind of a cowardly move, to be honest with you. I mean, he is the realest guy on YouTube. Well, he's the realest guy on the internet, allegedly. So, whether he's the first person to say it or the last, if he feels that it's unjust, he should say it. But he don't really care unless it actually affects him. He doesn't give a shit about anything as a whole. As long as he makes his little bit of money, he makes his shekels, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't give a damn about anybody else. He never did. Like that whole Zombie Go Boom thing, right? In their whole court case that they ended up losing. He didn't give a fuck about Zombie Go Boom until he found out what the results of the trial was, of the case itself. If they had won, he thought YouTube would have owed everybody, but mainly him, but everybody, some type of back wage. Or they would have owed, what's the word I'm looking for? They would have, not reparations, but, I don't want to say reparations, but, they would have owed him basically lost money. You know what I'm saying? Or money that he should have earned that he didn't. I don't want to use the term reparations, but, I mean, I don't want to use that term. I know there's a better one for it. But they would have owed him, you know what I'm saying, back pay, if you will. And that wouldn't have worked either which way because he would have still had to take them to court too. He would have had to take YouTube to court. And he didn't have the money for that, nor the resources. So, yeah, I mean, under that, if you've seen the case, right, or even just a little bit, if you've even glanced at it, it would have still had to have been a case-by-case basis, whether Zombie Go Boom won or not. And Phil wasn't going to win. He certainly wasn't going to win that case. Not because he couldn't afford to get to the courthouse in general, but he doesn't have a case. He just doesn't. Period. And if someone really... And one more thing. When you look at demonetization in general, if someone took a real look and listened to his commentary, especially all the shitty dicks and all the just whatever ridiculous talk that he speaks of, most of that shit would have probably get him demonetized anyway. Most of it. It should anyway. It doesn't, and good for him, but most of it would have probably get him demonetized. Other bigger YouTubers have talked about that. Not him, specifically, but in general. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have too many curses. If you have curses in your video too soon or so on and so forth, you can the algorithm will pick it up or the bot will pick it up, so on and so forth. So things like that. But that doesn't affect everybody. Look at JStation, for example.
I think where some concern comes in is that age restrictions on YouTube also can limit advertisements. So, for example, if there's a game that's very gory, or a game, you know what I mean? Like, we're talking definitely adult-oriented stuff. And those videos get flagged as age-restricted. Now, anyone who's considered old enough to watch them can still watch them, but YouTube will consider them not valid for all advertisers, see? And I think that's a major concern. I think that's actually what happened to the Zombie Go Boom channel that they sued YouTube years ago. I think what happened was in 2017, after the YouTube adpocalypse, they just did this blanket release of flag shit automatically. And apparently they determined that the Zombie Go Boom channel that had a lot of skits about, like, killing zombies and stuff, apparently was adult-oriented. It was not for all audiences, and they took all the ads off the channel completely. So the channel went out of business, and they sued YouTube, and the dumb fuck judge who got involved in the determination said, oh, well, legally YouTube's not obligated to give you anything. Which is actually completely false, because under California labor law, there's all kinds of things like fair practice and everything, and YouTube is under California labor law, yet the judge was just an idiot who didn't actually want to take any time on the case at all, basically because he didn't like the internet, and said, oh, I'm just gonna fucking...
It's not just the fact that he didn't like the internet. No one tells other people that they have to make this their livelihood. And if so, you should have another median to, you know what I'm saying, to branch out to and whatnot. And I'm not trying to shit on Zombie Go Boom. I'm not. What I'm trying to say is, though, is that when you put yourself in a situation where you are reliant on a platform that is actively changing to either keep what advertisements they have and or to bring more in, whether it's their fault or not, some people are going to take some hits. And that's kind of what it came down to. I'm not even saying that Zombie Go Boom did anything wrong. But I'm saying is they got hit in the dragnet. This goes back to the argument that everybody wants to talk about, but no one actually wants to do it. Where, why don't a bunch of big YouTubers, or just a bunch of people in general, just purchase their own servers and actually host their videos that way? Now, there's two parts of this argument that fundamentally is an issue, I think. One, do you really think people who have made millions and millions of dollars off of a platform is going to really take that money and invest it in servers to put their own videos up and then go through getting their videos categorized through different types of search engines and so on and so forth? Do you think they would really go to that trouble? Most of them won't. That's kind of the first thing. Secondly, anybody who's made money off YouTube is complacent in general. Now, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but in truth, you are. You're complacent. And I mean, when I mean that you've made money off YouTube, I'm talking about those who have made big money off YouTube. You're complacent. You're not going to sit there and want to leave the nest, because who would want to leave that type of money? And you have, amongst some people, there is a level of pettiness to where they don't want to pick up and leave and have someone else move into their slot. Why do they feel that way? I don't know. But it is petty. Petty as shit. Despite the fact that there's still, even now, Phil doesn't make any of that money because he's an idiot. And he's really just not advertiser friendly. But there is plenty of money to be made on YouTube. You just have to conform to what they want to do so. As in business in general. But Phil still sticks with this fucking 10-year notion that, oh, I want things to be the way it was when I first started. Like, the business can never change, it can never evolve, it can never run into roadblocks. Remember back during his machinima days, towards the end before he got his ass kicked off, and he was like, I don't give a shit about the whole ads and so on and so forth. I don't care about the problems behind the scenes with that. That's not my problem. I put my videos on YouTube and you guys pay me. I put my ads on I put my videos up on YouTube. You guys give me the ads that I want, or he didn't say the ads he wants. You guys give him the good ads, and then he gets paid, and that's it. He shouldn't have to worry about the extra nonsense. And in truth, he shouldn't have worried about the extra nonsense, because that's what ended up getting him fired from Machinima in the first place. He should have sat down, shut the fuck up, read the script, and play his part. And if he needed to branch off, then branch off to Twitch, which is what he ended up doing anyway. But see, he was too stupid. He was too greedy, and he thought he was owed something, as most people on the platform do. And then they get butthurt when shit ends up happening. I don't think what happened to Zombie Go Boom should have happened. I'm not saying that. I am also saying that you have to have an exit strategy, especially when you employ other people, which is as Zombie Go Boom was doing. They had to know something was coming down the ladder. You know what I mean? Because they were in a position to know. They may have not known everything. Don't be wrong. I'm not naive, but they had to have known something. You know what I mean? Or there had to have been some type of, in those circles, someone had to have been like, hey, I think something's going to happen. Maybe we should start revving up. You know, taking this whole case to court just put a whole bunch of nonsense at risk that didn't need to happen. And I don't know. It's just my personal opinion. Like, the more you delve into it, there's a whole bunch of things that happen behind the scenes besides the little shit that Phil's talking about. But that's neither here nor there. DSP News? It's the first time I've said that, like, in the last hour.
a blanket ruling, so we never even have to go to trial on this. So it sucks because in reality, YouTube doing these crazy things could fuck over entire businesses and entire livelihoods just because. And do you want to play the fucking game? Until someone actually takes it to court and gets a judge to take it seriously and stop being a staunchy old bastard that doesn't care about the internet, we're never going to get a real satisfaction out of any of this, and YouTube can just do whatever they want. Okay? But I think that's the concern is...
But who actually looks at the world like everything should just go your way and that's it? You're just an unrealistic motherfucker. That's what it comes down to. A lot of people made a lot of money on a platform that was never actually meant for it, but they made a lot of money for a number of years. And more often than not, most people didn't save, or they didn't have an actual plan for the money because they weren't expecting all the money to come in. Those are the same unrealistic individuals who, though they're not necessarily on Phil levels, they bitch and complain about how the whole circumstances are now. But if they'd even saved a portion of their money, which all of them come to that realization later on, then they'd been fine. You were on a platform and you were privileged with something that was never meant to be this way. So good for you. I'm not saying that you should feel shamed for that. I'm just saying is that we as a group of people on a platform at the time that would have been considered relatively brand new didn't have a plan with the money. And whether that is more of a social thing, it's an upbringing thing, it's whatever the case may be, you had a bunch of people who were given an opportunity that they never would have had anywhere else at any period of time. And they kind of squandered it because no one had a plan for anything. You know what I mean? And then everybody got into this mad dash. And then if you look at, like, for example, the Call of Duty community, there's a whole shitload of cutthroating that was going on behind the scenes. The anime community was like that. Some people still say it is. All kinds of nonsense. And all of this for the pursuit of the almighty dollar. So when we look at Phil, right, and we shit on him, or at least I shit on him, for his greed and his lack of foresight, it's not just Phil, believe it or not. He's just the most egregious. He's the most shameless of most people. There are plenty of people who think kinda like how Phil do. They're not as butthurt as he is because they adapted. Phil can't adapt. Just because he moved from one platform to another is not adapting. He did it because he had no choice. That's not adapting. He did it because he had no choice. But there's a lot of people who feel that way or felt that way that Phil did. Because they made more money than they ever thought they were going to make, and they thought it was going to last forever. And that's just not how life works. So like I said, whether that's just, being blinded by the cash itself, poor upbringing, poor sense of character, whatever the case may be, that's what it is. And back to something that I've said before, as well as other people, if they treated it more like a business, then they would have planned out properly. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always going to be shitty days. Always. That's why you have insurance. That's why you have a savings account. That's why hopefully you have like a CD or something. Hopefully you have a nest egg. Hopefully you have stocks and bonds. Hopefully you're investing in yourself. If you work as hard as, or if you work as smart, because if you're not working, because, you know what I'm saying, maybe you shouldn't always work harder, but you should certainly try to work smarter. I don't know if you can apply that to Phil or not, but that's neither here nor there. No matter how hard you work or how smart you work, you should always be putting something away for yourself for later. That's investing in yourself. people like Phil don't believe in that because they were unrealistic motherfuckers and thought it was going to last forever. So when YouTube collapsed, then those were the people who bottomed out. And whose fault is that at the end of the day? You can sit there and cry to YouTube and say it's YouTube's fault all over Twitter and all over your Instagram and all over that bullshit all you want. But at the end of the day, when you look at the individual, because that's who's the one who's bitching, he or she, who is really at fault? Some of them were in school. Some of them had jobs. Some of them had great careers. Gave it all up for easy money and fast money. Can you really feel sympathetic? Well, let's reword that. Can you totally empathize with someone who threw away what they already had, which was comfortable? You know what I'm saying? Which was comfortable for easy money or for quick money, or quick and easy money. Can you really empathize with someone? You went to school, you had your whole future ahead of you, you had a career, you were doing just fine. You decided to do this on the side, and then it turned into something that you weren't expecting to, and the money was so good that you were like, well, fuck all this, I don't need this, despite the fact that you spent all those years working hard for this. So this actually has sentimental value. Most people, not everybody, but most people toss that away for easy money. So you end up getting what you're getting. From a creative standpoint, with like Zombie Go Boom, for example, yeah, it sucks that it happened. But the writing was the writing was on the wall kind of for that. That you guys were going to get hit. No one thought you were going to get hit as hard as you did, but you end up taking an L on it. And it's hurtful, but that's what happened. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, if you're going to rely on a platform to conduct your business, then you have to work within those parameters, creatively or otherwise. If not, you're subject to the rules, and you're subject to the tides of business and the windfalls that come with it. Everybody's is over the moon when everybody's getting paid and the money's good and this, that, and the third. But when shit gets bad, that's when you realize. And that's when you really start to understand who's who, how smart the individuals are with their money, or what their personalities are really like. When everything's good, it's all smiles, it's all bubblegum and Hallmark cards. But when times get tough is when you see how people really act. Just my opinion, of course. Sorry for that tangent.
What's to stop YouTube one day from saying every horror-themed game is adult-oriented and therefore no one can advertise on game playthroughs of horror games? What's
Sooner than later, it might happen. A lot of people think in the FGC that might eventually happen. But then again, the FGC isn't really relied on YouTube. It's really more Twitch.
That every first-person shooter where people die, oh, there's a little bit of blood, that's adult-oriented. Someone got shot, that's adult-oriented, right? Now you're talking
eventually, a lot of people think that's gonna fall by the wayside too. Actually, a very good argument that I can't think of the content creator right now. I'm sorry, but he had said that when you think of YouTube gaming in general, Call of Duty played an enormous part of pushing the gaming section of YouTube, and it's true. It's a big part. You know what I'm saying? Billions, trillions, maybe trillions of views for Call of Duty videos over the years. And then when YouTube cut back with the whole demonetization of certain stuff, or just cut back on how much visibility Call of Duty games, or first-person shooters in general, I should say, were starting to get, that started to become problematic. Now, granted, he makes a decent point, because when you think about first-person shooters, you can go ahead and play Fortnite all day and get away with a lot of that nonsense. Some people say Apex also. Some people also say Borderlands. You might be able to get away with a lot of that stuff. But more realistic shooters, and I use realistic loosely with Call of Duty, at least recently, you're going to have a hard time with that. Or certain Call of Duty games. Battlefield also, and you saw where they went with that nonsense. So, you know what I'm saying? There's a level of standard, there's a level of comfort, if you will, when it comes to those things. And people have proposed that, well, YouTube should be more transparent with that. They should tell us what you're going to hit us for so we know not to do it. And that's true. The sad part is that some of those higher up are going to, the higher up YouTubers, I should say, they're either going to know in advance or they'll be overlooked because they bring in so much money. Where as everybody else would, kind of fall to the wayside. No one said business was fair.
Vast majority of video games. I mean, how many games don't have that kind of stuff in it? You'd have to, I mean, just taking a look at my dashboard. Okay, Man of Medan, horror game. Although really there hasn't been any like gory deaths or whatever. I guess you could argue it's adult oriented. Judgment, there's violence in the streets, adult oriented. Control, people getting shot, adult oriented. Call of Duty, adult oriented. Street Fighter, people beating the shit out of each other with their bare hands, adult oriented. Dragon Quest Builders 2, okay, you know what? That's one that's probably not adult oriented. Alright? Life is Strange 2, I guess you could kind of argue it's not, even though there's been, in one episode someone got killed. So I guess that would be adult-oriented, but the rest wouldn't be. Madden 20, I guess that's not adult-oriented. That's passable per YouTube's criteria. Mortal Kombat 11, don't even get me started. Fuck that. MLB The Show, I guess, would be acceptable. The Sinking City, I guess during most of the investigation parts would be alright, but if there's any kind of a violent part where you're fighting monsters, that would be adult-oriented. Borderlands, that's pure adult-oriented killing. Sekiro is pure adult-oriented. See what I mean? So, essentially, if YouTube got really stingy about how they did this stuff, the vast majority of video games could be considered adult-oriented. In which case, what could even be monetized of gameplay on YouTube? You see what I mean? Like, it's a slippery slope. And it's really fucking stupid.
But yet again, you're looking at it from... He looks at it from a standpoint where everybody who plays games for the internet is getting paid. And that's just not so. That's just not so. And more importantly than that, there are a lot of greedy people out there, obviously. But they're not people that are petty and greedy like Phil is. Phil is literally a special type of greedy. You know what I mean? He's not unique, but he's definitely a special type of greedy. He really, really is. So the only way he can rationalize it in his head, the only thing that puts one hoof in front of the other, is he believes everybody thinks the way he does. And the reason why is because he's cut off all the avenues to get feedback from other people, to actually find out if people think the way he does. You know what I'm saying? And this is where, if you want to go off, branch out a little bit, this is where all the paranoia and all that bullshit comes from too. Because he doesn't have to really sit there and read the negative feedback. The bullshit that happens on his streams, or with the shit that happens on his streams, I'm talking about like where someone who has spent years policing his comment section, and a lot of it he had to let go because people would just do it under multiple accounts. He went from having that to getting rid of all of it because he just had enough. He can sit there and try to hide behind his fan base all he wants, but he just had enough. To now, he's in his little glass box, and now look at him. He literally nitpicks at every little thing because he really has nothing to talk about. Because he really has nobody to talk to. Not even within his own house.
In my opinion, what you're talking about is determining the difference between fantasy and reality. And I'll give you an example here. If someone puts a video up on YouTube of gore that's real, oh my god, someone got brutally murdered and here's a video of it. Alright? Okay, maybe yeah, that should probably be age restricted, and yeah, there shouldn't be full advertisements on that video. It's a fucked up, gory, disgusting video. Right? And, you know, you shouldn't have kids watching it, and advertisers probably don't want their ads on it, okay? But, just a horror-themed video game where fantasy characters, you may find a dead body or whatever, why is that not suitable for advertisements? I'm pretty sure that advertisers advertise on horror movies, on creepy shows. I mean, if this was the case...
You're thinking, yet again, you're still thinking, you got tunnel vision. You're not looking at it from the bigger picture. A lot of the best ads on YouTube are family oriented, are family friendly, and horror doesn't really fall into that. It just doesn't. Like I said, you can get away with most shit, but you can't get away with all of it. And YouTube is still gonna cover its ass any way it sees fit. Now, like what he said about, oh well, if you have a real killing that's super fucking gory, fair enough. That's an actual decent point. Here's the thing. You have people, whether amateur FX or professional FX, especially amateur. Amateur FX is getting to the point where it's blowing out Hollywood FX. It's insane. And for like half the cost. And they can make something look oh my god, look amazingly real. How do you differentiate that situation from someone who's actually being fucking gutted and a scene from a horror movie where someone's being gutted? How do you differential that? That is reality and fantasy. How do you separate that? You can't really do it. And so when you look at gaming as a medium, and though it is something that you would expect kids to gravitate to, they don't want to put ads on certain games for whatever reason. Like you said about Mortal Kombat, you don't even want to speak about that, but that's fantasy. That's obviously not happening, but it's brutal. And more importantly than that, it's the sensitivity that you don't want young children who you want to make sure you're targeting your ads to see dead bodies and then see some silly shit for, I don't know, whatever new show that's coming up on fucking Disney or Nickelodeon or whatever the case may be. You don't want that. You know what I'm saying? And parents don't want that. That's why they have YouTube Kids, despite the fact that allegedly is turned into just a pedophile den for all intents and purposes. That's neither here nor there. But that's what it comes down to. The algorithm doesn't have to go through the painstaking process of trying to figure out what's what. It does what they want to what it's programmed to do, and it learns along the way. But for the most part, YouTube's like, hey, we can't risk this shit. Just if you got a blanket statement, state it, do it. If they really want to protect their intellectual property, if you will, or their actual video or their creation, make the bitch asses go ahead and put a report in for it. I hate to say bitch asses because I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. But make the asses put in a dispute report for it, and then we'll review it. If not, take the L. And yet again, this goes back to the fundamentals for Phil. If this is all just an archive, you're not relying on his income, why are you complaining? Just saying. Why are we going through these mental gymnastics for something that doesn't really have any value? You said it yourself. Which goes back to something that's been said by many people. The moment he said that it's an archive channel, he devalued it. And he doesn't understand that. He doesn't realize that the moment he said YouTube's an archive channel, he devalued it. So you can't say something like that and then turn back around and expect it to be the cash cow it once was. You spent years fucking yourself over, and by proxy, screwing up your own channel. He drove that channel into the ground. He did that. No one else. Other people certainly were complacent in other shit, but at the end of the day, he's the one who made the decisions. Just my opinion, of course.
How could a show like American Horror Story even exist or be popular? No advertisers want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because that's adult-oriented horror, right? And we don't want to advertise on that. There's no profit in that. I mean, that's just stupidity. But that's essentially what YouTube is saying, is that if a game is adult-oriented and it gets flagged...
And yet again, this whole trying to compare YouTube to actual television or movies, that needs to stop, because you're just being an unrealistic motherfucker doing this shit. You're being absolutely unrealistic for that shit. You got to understand that people pay good money to put ads on that. They don't have to pay good ads to put advertisements on a YouTube video. They don't have to. They do it for obviously cable TV, for satellite, and so on and so forth, because they want the most eyes possible on their products. YouTube, they don't have to have that. Yet again, I don't know why you don't understand this. This is easy. This is real easy. You would think, anyway. But yet again, he shouldn't have made it his livelihood in the first place. And if he did, he should have at least saved his money or had a plan. Neither one of those are hard. You know what I'm saying? No one plans to fail. So everybody just fails to plan.
Yeah.
For being adult-oriented, now you can't advertise on it at all. But why? That doesn't make any fucking sense. What it is, it's YouTube having a knee-jerk reaction to the fact that advertisers left the site in droves because of automation. And ads were going on every kind of fucking video possible, including really heavily adult-oriented content that advertisers did not want their ads on. And YouTube, instead of saying, okay, we're going to enforce some good criteria now to make sure this doesn't happen, they just did a blanket ruling that anything that's flagged adult-oriented is going to end up not having ads. And that's why entire businesses have gone out of business. Like I said, that Zombie Go Boom channel was a very popular YouTube channel, and it went out of business because of YouTube being lazy as fuck and not actually wanting to work. And that's essentially what it is. And instead of working to find an
Here, let me give you guys another example, because now he's starting to irk me. All right, you want to talk about people who get fucked over and whatnot for having an opinion or trying to make something comedic or telling the truth, right? Let's get off this gaming bullshit for a minute. or at least Phil's gaming bullshit. Look at channels like, I actually had both of them right there, Memology 101 and like It's a Gundam. Like, look at those channels. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it's really just journalism and whistleblowing with some comedy there. That's pretty much what would sum them up. I'm actually being egregious because I'm not giving it enough credit, but you know what I mean. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. These guys, I would hopefully not all the time, but those guys get demonetized a lot on silly shit, on really, really silly shit that is meaningful, ladies and gentlemen. We're going past a paycheck. We're talking about people who appreciate the information or appreciate the substance of the channel itself, right? Or they're actually bringing something to light that people didn't know about before. Both of those channels and both of those men can be contributed to that point. And they get demonetized all the goddamn time. And they keep moving forward because guess what? You have to. That's what you do. You have to deal with it. And you don't hear bitching and complaining like this. And they do stuff that's actually meaningful. That is actually important. You know what I mean? And that they're just two people out of many. Now, we come to Phil crying over nonsense like this when he makes $12,000 a month off Twitch. He makes more than enough money to sustain himself and his, you know, his wife, Catherine, and Jasper. And, you know, be able to pay the condo in Connecticut. And all the other little bullshit. I mean, granted, he's got debt up to the hilt. But he ain't starving. I mean, poor wording. I'm sorry. He's not destitute. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not missing any meals. You know what I'm saying? He can still shower every day despite the fact that he don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not living it rough and tumble and shit. Catherine's not on the stripper poles yet, so obviously things ain't going that bad. But we're bitching over a YouTube channel that's already dead. Just let it go. Or just scrounge what little money you get off of it and shut the fuck up. You can't keep going on these little rants to try to drum people over there to watch it when they don't need to, because they're already watching you on stream. So why the hell are you bitching and complaining about shit getting demonetized when, one, you're not going to pull the views in that it's going to need to be insanely profitable anyway, and two, the majority of people who are going to watch it have already watched it because they saw you live on stream. What's the point? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point? It's a war of attrition with himself that he can't win. It's literally a one-sided fight. And he's losing to himself. Like, Phil's words aren't going to sit there and open and go ahead and start the revolution. You know what I'm saying? Viva la resistance. That's just not going to happen. I'll definitely take a crescent roll right now, though. I plead that. I'll definitely take a crescent roll right now. But he isn't going to start some revolution with any of this shit. He's literally talking to hear himself talk. This is literally self-masturbation. That means nothing. Because guess what? The people who came to him didn't come to him to hear this. Shut the fuck up, play the games, play it poorly, and then let me go home and laugh at it. End of story.
Solution to the problem, they put a Band-Aid on it. And the Band-Aid doesn't work, and everyone gets fucked.
Oh my god, dude, just shut up. Just shut up and stop whining. Ugh.
Essentially, I understand exactly what you're saying, Timbo Slice. It is a slippery slope, and I don't know what's going to happen. The good news is, as I've told you guys, I really don't get a lot of profit off of YouTube videos.
I get some, don't get me wrong, I get some, but it's nothing near what I used to, and it's certainly not my primary source of income. So, if this whole thing exploded overnight and YouTube went out of business, I mean, I would just have to find another way to make up for that little bit of income every month. Ayúdame, por favor. Es muy importante. I mean, I need help now. But, I mean, how many times can I yell help before people are like, enough is enough?
Also, you would have to check Twitch, or not Twitch. You would have to check Kiwi Farms for sure, because there's at least 2, if not 3 individuals, it's probably 4 actually, who really go over there and crunch the numbers. I'm sure LSB will have it, or Agent Proper, or James Lester will have it. Shouts out to all of them. We'll have it in detail. But if I had to guess, at least the last time I looked at any figures, I think Phil's pulling in, I'll be generous, let's say Phil's pulling in about 30,000 a year off YouTube. You know what I mean? He's pulling about 30,000. He might even pull. It may be even a little bit higher, but let's say between. Let's say I'm gonna lowball this. So I'm gonna low. This is at the very low end that Phil's at least bringing home. Is anywhere between 24 to 30,000 a year, and that's on the low end. So it isn't terrible. You know what I'm saying? It's not terrible. And then when you think about what he's making on Twitch, that's just a whole nother ballpark, man. Because it's almost a given that he's gonna bring home 10,000 to 12,000 plus each month from Twitch. Sometimes it's in the 8 or 9s, but it's still gonna factor out at the end of the year that he's averaging at least 10,000 plus a year or a month off Twitch. So think about that when you're hearing all this bitching and complaining.
A huge deal. If anything, it would just be worse for my viewers, because a lot of people can't attend the live streams, okay? But essentially, YouTube just keeps fucking their website up more and more. Nothing you can do about it. And I agree with you, Timbo, that I think it's really fucking stupid that you have all these games that could be considered adult-oriented, but because YouTube can't determine the difference between fantasy and reality, that now these videos get demonetized. It's just stupidity, and YouTube is just that dumb. Alright? They're a very dumb business. They're not very good. Let's just put it that way.
Ow! Why'd you do that? Why did you do that? Why'd you just go to bite mommy? Wow. Alright, so you see what pigs can do.
Turkey Burger cheered and said, you rely on donations from fans, which I don't have to give you. When we ask for things like DSP tries it or a special event, you make excuses for why you can't do it or put it behind a paywall, kind of hypocritical.
I know I've never put DSP try it behind a paywall. I'm a thief, I'm a scammer, I'm a liar.
Wait,
Never.
now that I think about it, because now we're getting into fun stuff. Sorry about all that previous ranting. Wasn't the DSP shower video, the second one, wasn't that also behind a paywall? And wasn't that whole DSP ear cleaner nonsense, wasn't that behind some type of paywall or some type of sub goal or whatever? Now that I think about it, I'm just throwing it out there.
Happened. That's a lie. Special events I do based on sub goals, which you guys asked me for. You guys told me stop doing Patreon goals and do sub goals. So you can't have it both ways. You know, I used to do one way. People said, well, we don't really like the Patreon stuff anymore. Change it to be sub goals now, and that'll motivate people to sub, and we'll have a fun community of people subbing and stuff on Twitch. So I did it, and now you're telling me that I'm hiding it behind a paywall.
But either way, they're both a paywall because you have to contribute. You still have to contribute to get something that you want. Is that not a paywall? Whether you're doing it on Patreon or you're doing it through Twitch's sub goals or tip goals, you should do tip goals more. You get more money that way, but whatever. Whether you're doing it through sub goals or Patreon, it's still a paywall. Either which way. I mean, granted though too, I mean Jasper was behind a paywall, so it is what it is. He's like the Donald Trump of Galtopia and shit.
You are an idiot, and you are now permanently banned from the chat because you're obviously just a shithead. And
You're gonna
trying to
permanently ban him for that? That's not a. Oh boy, someone's being extra salty. That is not a good reason to ban somebody. But no one ever said Phil had a good reason to ban anybody.
stuff, so you can go fuck yourself.
I'm a joke. You know, I don't do anything productive. I'm a negative, toxic guy, and everything about me is just laugh jokes, right?
Warren Poo tipped me $1. He says, I got timed out for saying,
Give me money.
can you tell your mods to calm down? They make speaking in your chat feel like walking on eggshells. It's no fun when they're ban happy and take their job too seriously. I agree with you, but at the same time, saying
Give me money.
in the stream chat is probably not a good idea. It's probably really fucking stupid. And maybe you should wise up as well and take some responsibility for doing something really stupid in the stream chat. So what I will say is this, I agree with you, you probably shouldn't have been permanently banned or whatever. Actually, you weren't, you were just timed out. So you know what? I agree with the mod situation. They did the right thing, they didn't ban you, they timed you out, which is what should happen when you're being an idiot in stream chat. And hopefully now you learned your lesson and you won't do it again.
Yep, I'm toxic.
Thanks for the $1 tip. So this is a pretty good pre-stream because basically we're laying down the law and these idiots are finally gonna, you know, understand what it is to be
The idiots that are giving you money that you rely on to pay all these bills that you have coming up, right? To pay all your financial obligations. They're all idiots because they want clarification on a situation or they point out the hypocrisy and shit. This is how we're doing it. yet again, taking, this is what happens when you're on your little glass house, well, when you're in your little glass house, with what one would reluctantly call power, and you go nuts with it. Now, and this is, ladies and gentlemen, coming from an individual who at one time commanded, what, between 3,000 and 5,000 people on the regular on his streams? Now we're at like 3 to 500. And he's still acting like he's ruling over a kingdom that's not being poached away from all sides. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you really look, like, bear with me on this. If you look at DSP Enterprises, I think that's what it used to be called, something like that. I miss Argent. You know what I'm saying? I have to go back and binge watch some of his videos. Shouts out to Argent. I hope he's doing well. You should check out his channel too. He has great content. Not just DSP stuff. He has just great content altogether. If you looked at Phil as a country, Galtopia, really, that's the reason why I said it. That's the reason why I made it. When you look at it, he's being poached. He's being consumed from all sides. And then he's consuming himself from within, but he's consuming himself from all sides, right? And the kingdom, over the years, has become smaller and smaller and smaller. And yet he still rules it, or at least he tries to rule it from a position and from a point of view that it's still as big as it always was. And it's not. All those numbers are fraudulent. They mean nothing. He has 70,000 people following him on Twitch. And Tevin's has pointed this out before, praise be. If they did a purge of dead accounts, right, that shit would probably drop down to like 30. Maybe even 20. Maybe. I'm probably being overly generous with that. When you look at his YouTube channel, it's dead. 160 to 180,000 subs, and it's a dead channel. It's an absolutely dead channel for a channel of its size. Why hold on to the illusion that you're something, that this is still meaningful when you could change? When you could take the steps needed to fix all this? It could, I don't know if it could be fixed. It could probably be salvaged. Some of it, maybe. You still got to cut away at the cancer. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could still, so it could be salvaged. At least some of it, anyway. You're gonna take some losses. It is what it is. Phil's accustomed to taking L's. But some of this could somewhat be salvaged. His reputation is shit. Does that mean he still can't be profitable? I mean, he's begging and pleading for $10,000+ a month on Twitch, so obviously it's still profitable. It's just he has debt up the ass. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why he can't get ahead, because he's in so much goddamn debt. But that's nobody's fault but his own. But all he has to do is make some changes. Make some good changes to help himself. And he won't do it. Now, remember what the marketing scheme is, ladies and gentlemen. This is all about crowdfunding. So this idiot won't go out of his way, which is not even going out of his way because this is his job, to try to make a much more entertaining stream for those who he depends on to pay his bills. He sees that as being beneath him. You pay him for what he does, and if you don't like it, fuck off. And then he begs at the end of the month for all you guys to come back, and it was my depression and whatever other silly shit that comes to mind. When he's not even willing to put the effort in. Everybody else has to give 500%, but not Phil. He can go ahead and give the minimum amount and just get away clean. And he's okay with living like this. He's okay with continuing to go on like this. But everybody's idiots, though, because you call him out or you question him on something, which feels or seems fundamentally wrong to you. Okay. DSP News.
Sure, adults, I guess. I don't know what else to say. There's a bunch of whiny, petulant stuff here on pre-stream. This is pretty good.
With this salt flavor. Ugh.
Alright, continuing on. Rick Grimes Dimes, to me $1. He says, funny you skipped 2 of the best games of the year because they're Switch games. Is it because you have an agenda against Nintendo? Why would you not listen to the demand of your viewers and at least play Astral Chain? Truth of the matter is, I didn't even know Astral Chain was a Switch game. I had no idea. It wasn't until someone brought it up here on the stream chat, the other day that I even knew that it was. I had no clue. I thought it was cross-platform. I really did.
Plays video games full time, has no clue about the games that come out. He doesn't leave his house. He doesn't have to do anything else except for play video games, and if he's going to speak on games, at least have an idea of what the fuck he's talking about. Has no clue about one of the biggest releases of the year. No clue whatsoever. Wow.
I didn't know that Platinum Games was only making it for the Switch. So your point is completely invalid, Rick Grimes. As for the other game you're mentioning, I don't even know what it is. What's the other Switch exclusive game that I skipped? I don't even know. It's not Remnant, right? Remnant isn't a Switch exclusive, is it? I don't even know. To me, that's not the concern at all. I could care less what console the game's on. It's the style of game didn't really appeal to me. What is it? Fire Emblem?
But you're still missing the point, though, because people are asking for you to play it. And like I said, this is all crowdfunding. So shouldn't you be trying to do what the audience wants? And not regurgitating games that you played 6 or 7 years ago that no one gives a shit about, and if they did, they just go onto your dead channel to watch it with minimum ads?
Fire Emblem. Oh, okay. See, again, I didn't even... I
Can't
didn't
even
know
explain why he didn't play Fire Emblem. Can't even explain it away.
a Switch exclusive. I really didn't. I had no idea.
Wow.
So your point is moot. It's completely false. Russian Love Machine Cheers says, what do you think about streaming websites having competition like DLive, Mixer, etc.? Would you move to one of them if support and popularity for Twitch dies down like how most went to Discord from using Skype? You know, would I ever consider going somewhere else? Yeah, I'm not married to fucking Twitch. You know, I enjoy being here. I love working with their business. But I'm not 100%, you know, I'm not in some long-term contract with these guys. I'm considered an independent contractor. My contract with Twitch is that I am able to create content on the website daily. I'm able to run advertisements on the videos that I put up here that make money. I'm able to have things like the cheering enabled and the subbing enabled where Twitch takes a cut and I get some. You know, all this is enabled through the partner program. But it's all at will, meaning at any point I can terminate that agreement and I can go on and do somewhere else if I feel like that's a better opportunity. Right now I know Twitch is my best opportunity. But maybe in the future that'll change. We'll see. Alright?
It won't. Not unless he has to. At the end of the day. And calling himself an independent contractor is stupid. It's just like YouTube. It's just like when he worked under Machinima. It's just like when he worked under Curse. He's a fucking employee. That's what he is. He's an employee. Because an independent contractor, if things aren't working your way, you have options when you leave. You don't have to hold on to this little fucking rinky-dink job because you have no choice. That's what Phil does. He has no choice. He really doesn't. Until he gets kicked off and moves on to the next subject. Or, well, to the next job. He has no choice whatsoever. He has diminished himself over the years in such a way that he can really only go where people will have him. And even then, if he started off at Mixer or DLive tomorrow, he would start at the bottom of the goddamn barrel and wouldn't have a hoof to stand on. He literally would be like everybody else. And in Phil's eyes, everybody else that's beneath him are peasants. So why would he want to reduce himself to that? Let him be the king with his shitty crown, even if the crown is broken and not made of even, doesn't even have any gold or jewels in it anymore. It's made out of fucking copper, right? And let him rule over this small kingdom that's shrinking by the day that has no value to it at all. Outside of what he can pull from it. And there are bigger people than Phil, like Boogie, who are looking to try to get their way in to get a little bit of his kingdom. Under the pretense of being nice. And being like, you don't bully Phil, bully me. You want to bully somebody? Take your money and bully me with it. While I cry my sleep at night because my wife's getting black.
You gotta have an open mind about this stuff too, right?
Twitch loves me and my streams. Twitch is the future.
Did everything correct at a 50-bit cheer. He says, have you ever considered going to the gym now that you're pretty much 40? First of all, I'm 37, I'm not 40, but thanks. He says, you should be more active. You're right, I should be more active. No, I haven't considered going to the gym, I don't have time. I'm here working all day, every fucking day.
Now, keep in mind, according to lore, of course, Kat works a full-time job. Works more hours than Phil does, and she can find the time to go to the gym. Now, granted, she has a motivation at the gym with Jim, but either way, she could do it, or she at least was doing it, but Phil can't do it. Can't even do any push-ups or sit-ups at the house. do some squats, walk around his goddamn neighborhood. Can't even do that. Lives in a gated community, scared as hell, and don't want to leave his house to walk around his own block, on his own little safe streets. Cause I don't got time. I'm gonna die of heart failure. And because I didn't have time to walk up and down my street for a half hour. Oh, so. Kat, if you're listening, sweetie, or Catherine, if you're listening to this, I'm curious how you're gonna redecorate the house after Phil's, sad departure. I'm just curious. And if you do decide to, right, I hope you do a walkthrough. You know what I mean? Just please do, because I'm just anxious to see what you're gonna do with it.
That was good.
And then when I'm not working, I'm doing stuff offline with my wife or with Jasper or just stuff around the house. My one day off a week, I spend going out and spending time with my wife that I don't get to see most of the week. So maybe if I didn't work as much, I'd be able to go to the gym. But I can't because I work too much. It's that simple. All right, a few things.
So we're going to put money over preserving our health, i.e. giving yourself more time to make even more money down the line. Short-term thinking yet again, with long-term ramifications, if he even lives that long to have them. When he gets to like 45, 50, he's going to be hurting bad. He's going to be hurting real bad. If he thought he was in a lot of pain when he woke up that one morning and he found that he had gout, or at least he thought he had gout, wait another 15 years if he makes it that far. He's going to be hurting. Everything's going to hurt. To the point where he's going to have arthritis and God knows whatever else is going through his wrist, his forearms, his shoulders. Can't even pick up a goddamn controller. He's going to be hunched over and he can't straighten his back out because he already has bad posture. He's going to be in a world of hurt in like 10 years. In a world of hurt. And I can't wait to see who or what he decides to blame it on then. Because Lord knows we're not going to hear him say it's all Tevin's fault for the next 10 goddamn years. No one's going to want to hear that shit.
Devour.
The best way to contribute today, guys, during the live streams is to tip me for a couple reasons. First of all, there's many games coming up this month that I'm going to have to purchase. It is the hardcore gaming season, after all, coming up here. And anything that you tip me can go towards buying stuff for the business, including buying all the games. But in addition to that, this is now the toughest time of the month for me. This first week to 2 weeks of every month, I have to pay a ton of bills. All right, it sucks, but I just have to, and it all unloads my bank account. I don't get paid by Twitch till the middle of the month. So any tips that you give me via the streams, I'm going to put towards bills, going directly towards those bills, okay? And everything else is great. If you guys want to cheer or sub, pledge to my Patreon, etc., all those things help. But those all have a processing time until I get any positive benefit. By tipping me, I get those funds right away, and I can put it towards bills immediately, all right? So please consider tipping me today as the preferred method of contributions, if at all you can. Tipping helps me more than anything else.
Give me the money.
Darkside Felipe says, have you ever owned or ridden a horse? My name Felipe is the Spanish variant of Phil, which derives from the Greek adjective Philippos, meaning friend of horses.
Lol. Never ridden a horse. I don't know how on earth you think I would have owned a horse.
Actually, I'm pretty confused right now.
I'm not, I didn't grow up on some kind of a ranch. My parents aren't like wealthy landowners who had like, a menagerie of animals, and they got me a horse when I was 5 and I learned how to ride. No, none of that happened, okay? What we can now do is let's check on sub count. We're at 628 subs, excellent. By the way, guys, I just want to forewarn everyone.
Well, that just kind of proves Jim's the better man either which way. There's no beating that.
We're going to see a big dip in subs soon. Just so everyone understands this, that it's not a bad thing. What happened was at the very end of July, that last day of July, we had a big sub bomb that came in because we were at the final day of July. It didn't look like we were going to hit the sub goal. And then all of a sudden, boom, a couple of very generous people came in and gifted a bunch of subs. If I remember correctly, it was like between 40 and 50 subs in one day. And then we hit the sub goal. So that's why we did the Rageathon this month, okay? But those were all gifted subs, and those are going to expire. So just to forewarn everybody, probably tomorrow, or even over the course of today, we're going to see a significant dip in subscriptions, and that's okay. In fact, as I told you guys, the sub goal for this month coming up in September is
Now,
going to be...
keep in mind, and I want you guys to think about this, there are more subs given than actual people who appear on his streams. Sometimes more than both streams combined. Think about that.
Halloween event, what I'm going to purposely do is wait a few days before we set up the sub goal for the month to see what the subs dip to, so at least I can set the sub goal as something realistic rather than saying, oh, we have 628 subs, let's make the sub goal 675 subs, and then boom, we lose like 100 subs in a day and there's no way that it could ever be reached. You see what I mean? So let's see what happens, okay?
It tastes like justice.
Oh, like failure, really. Even more reason why. Wow, he looks really. I'm not gonna say it. He looks. I'm really not gonna say it. He really should just set the sub goal for 1,000. Like I said, it's half price subs. They're more than likely gonna hit it anyway because it's the Halloween horror video game marathon, which he does every year anyway. Whether he hits the goal or not, he's still gonna do it. And he's still going to come out with a stupid-ass costume, and he's still going to let them vote on shitty games. Either way, it's still going to happen, so he might as well aim high. That's my opinion, anyway.
Still has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone, like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it.
You damn sure do. That video kind of proved it. Jesus Christ, that was a long one. Fucking A. We still got one more left. Not to say that I'm not happy about it, but god dog. I kind of let myself go on that one. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the last video of our broadcast. It should be fun. Yeah, it should be fun, I think. So I'll see you guys literally in just a second.
Contributions are...
This is how to play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
One can only hope. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the last video of our broadcast. Snort Burnell, DSP, Jasper the Troll, skipping Borderlands 3, and Twitch. Buggy mechanics. Or bug mechanics, I'm sorry. Here we go.
So, last night, I went to sleep, and as you guys know, I have a cat. His name is Jasper, and he's a very nice kitty. Don't get me wrong. He's he's a very positive influence on my and my wife's lives. Got us through some tougher times earlier this year. When things were looking really bad financially, and when we had to keep a lot of stuff under wraps from you guys, because we were afraid people were going to harass us if you knew about things like us getting married and stuff. And basically, he was a positive light in our lives when we really needed it, okay? But that being said, a pet is a responsibility, and sometimes...
He's getting tired of him. That's exactly what it's come down to. He's getting tired of him. Oh, poor Jasper. Oh no. Well, hopefully he buries you next to, what was it, cinnamon and raisin, or whatever the hamster's names were. Oh boy, poor Jasper. Poor Jasper. But Jasper, take solace in this. If anything actually happens to you, then Catherine buries Phil. So you always have that. You're not going to go alone.
A pet can be an annoying responsibility. Last night Jasper decided to wake up around 5 in the morning.
Oh my god!
Keep me up. I'd say for about 4 straight hours. So, typically I go to sleep around 2, and just to get in bed and settled in and ready to sleep, it could be instant if I'm super tired, or it could take upwards of an hour, right, for me to get to sleep. So I think last night, I don't know because I wasn't looking at the clock, I got to sleep sometime between 2 or 3 p.m. 2 or 3 a.m. Jasper wakes me up at 5 in the morning. Starts off with his...
I don't know. Sounds to me like the gin hit him wrong. That's what that sounds like. sounds like the gin and tonic or the gin and Sprite hit him wrong.
His usual routine when he wakes up early. He's rubbing me. He's purring, which is very cute. You know, it's cute when he does that. In particular, sometimes he licks my face. Sometimes he licks my beard.
Oh!
Sometimes he bites my beard because he actually thinks that my goatee is like animal fur. So for
Yeah,
him,
it's the smell of bacon, and the smell of the turkey burgers. I'm sure there's probably a couple specks in between there somewhere.
he bites his own animal fur to clean it. So sometimes he wants to be nice and he wants to groom me, and so he'll start licking or biting.
But this does confirm though that Jasper likes the bacon. So I think it was fair to say that when we decided to employ him here at GTG Network and Productions, it sounds like we did a good thing. I'm proud of this moment. I truly am.
my beard. Now, when he licks my beard, it's cute. When he bites my beard, it's not so cute because it freaking hurts. Okay? So, he's doing this to me in the morning. I'm like, alright, buddy, you know, I know you want to get up. It's way early. It's 5 in the morning. I don't usually get up between until 8 or 9, so, you know, let's get some more sleep. He then proceeded to practice his new fully fledged 3-act tap dance routine all over my body, including the whole Warner Brothers number, you know, hello my baby, hello my honey, hello my ragtime gal. So he was tap dancing all over me. Now, this normally would be alright, except for some reason, he decided today to use his hind claws. Or, it's not hind, what's the word for rear? Hind is the front claws, isn't it? He decided to use his rear claws to grab all over my body while he was tap dancing. Ow! It was not nice. Alright, it was not nice. So then I'm like, alright, you gotta stop this, man. You know, what is going on here? And, you know, I got him to stop a few times. But every time I was ready to go back to sleep. Every fucking time I was ready to go back to sleep. Boom. Here's back.
Get this cat off me.
We really should be proud, to be honest with you. Not just myself, but everybody here at GTG Network and Productions. Everybody that's associated with SnortBucks Coffee, with the Galtopia News Network. All of you, you should be proud of this moment. You should be proud that Jasper has decided to fight back. And he's going to avenge himself and his claws. His lost claws. I'm proud of this moment. I'm actually proud. Now, fun fact, Phil has never actually had the best relationship with cats. Yeah? So there's some actual talks going around that Jasper's just getting irritated of him. And so that's why he's kind of poking at him and shit. And or Phil, if Phil's getting irritated and he tries to maybe not swat at him, because I don't think Phil would be dumb enough to do that, because I don't think Phil would want to get bit. But if Phil tries to shoo him off, Jasper either A, takes it as playing and goes along with it, and then Phil turns into a bitch and starts crying. Or Phil actually tries to get overly aggressive, Jasper bites back, and then he basically scrounges up into a corner. Not sure which one yet, but they all sound good to me. DSP News.
This stupid cat on my body. You fucking cat. God damn it. Stupid cat.
And you guys might say, well, what about Cat? Cat was there too. He bothers her too. Don't get me wrong. He bothers her. He tends to bother me more for whatever reason. I think it might be because he knows that, like, I'm the guy that spends the daytimes with him when Cat's at work. Like, let me put it this way.
Yeah, but you don't feed him. You know what I'm saying? You don't actually, like, really, you don't play with him. You don't do any of those things. So, like, I don't know. It has to be the smell of bacon. It has to be what it is. You should probably just start taking showers at night. That's really all. I mean, that might help some of it.
Always at home, right? I'm always home.
I'm very sedentary in my lifestyle. I don't move a lot, being honest. I sit here on the couch streaming all day long most days.
No matter what. Cat is the person who goes out of the house to work. So, I think when it comes to the morning stuff, you know, he wants to see me first and wake me up first. Although it's funny because Cat is the person who feeds him. So when he's hungry, he goes to her, but when he wants to play around, he comes to me. And that's what it is, waking me up just all morning. Alright? All freaking morning. Then, he said, that's not enough.
Oh, wait, now that I think about it, alright? If Jasper wakes him up first, i.e. Phil's the one who's actually up first, why isn't Phil feeding him? You're already up. or you're up first. So why not? Why aren't you feeding him? And you're home with him all day. So not only you not basically giving him breakfast, but theoretically you'd give him lunch too. And if Cat works late, he's not like you. Jasper's not going to wait till Cat gets home to feed him, because it'd be way too late at that point. You already do that. She don't need to do that for somebody else. So you would theoretically be feeding him at night too, wouldn't he? I'm so confused.
Tap dance number is very cute. I've decided to escalate things a bit. So he then decided that he was going to start biting.
And now that I think about it, let's rewind this back a little bit. Cats don't eat a lot, so if he fills Jasper's dish, then Jasper will kind of go at it throughout the day. But yet again, why wouldn't Phil be the one to establish that? And even then, Phil would have to feed him at least twice, because you give him I would assume Phil gives him dry and then gives him something like more wet during the day, or as the day goes along, I should say. I don't know. I might be reading into it too much.
Now, I'm not talking full-on chomping and letting of blood or anything like that at all. In fact, I can tell you, Jasper has never, ever intentionally hurt either myself or Cat. Every once in a while, he'll get a little overly excited and he'll scratch us by accident with his back paws, which still have claws. And that's okay. It's unintentional. Maybe he's like, we'll be holding him and he'll kick by accident and zoop, and then you get a scratch. You're like, ah, son of a bitch. But that's okay. But, basically, when he gets really excited or he really wants to play, he'll give you a kitty nip, which is natural. Cats, just like dogs or whatever, they'll bite each other as a playful thing. But again, Jasper thinking, I guess, that I'm a cat, doesn't understand that it hurts when he bites, even if it's just a playful bite. It still hurts, because I don't have fur like him. So it's, it's pointing on the skin, my skin, the nerves are going off saying, danger, sharp, danger. And he's doing this as I'm trying to sleep. So I'm just sitting there, in the bed. He's biting my foot through the sheets. I'm like, Jasper, man, I'm not playing with you. I'm trying to sleep, man. Like, what are you doing? You're biting me out of nowhere, waking me out of attempted sleep, shocking, piercing pain in my foot. Oh, man.
Yeah, he's getting irritated with that cat. He's getting real irritated. And that, and mixed up with the gin that's still in his gullet, yeah, that's not a good combination, Mike. That ain't a good combination. Especially since Phil's used to sleeping after a night of gin. He's used to sleep until like 10 o'clock. So, yeah, Jasper probably fucking his whole day up. Oh, boy.
This went on, I'm not exaggerating, from 5 a.m. until about 9 a.m. It wasn't very pleasant. And I'm really tired. I'm genuinely, I normally wouldn't complain. But I'm, really fucking tired, man. And so that's what I mean. I don't know how today's gonna go.
I don't know how to tame a cat. I have no idea. So I don't know if I'll even bother with it, quite frankly. I don't know how to do it.
Now, Giant Quest fan says, doesn't your room have a door? Of course it does. But you don't understand. See, the reason he's asking this is because apparently he doesn't have a pet like this. If you have a pet that wants to be with you all the time, that pet will do whatever it wants to be with you all the time. So if I close the bedroom door with Jasper outside, first of all, wrangling him outside into the hallway, and then trying to get back in the bedroom and close the door without him following is, impossible. But even if I manage to do this at 5 in the morning, then he's just going to pounce on the door all morning. So I'll be trying to sleep, and then you'll hear thump, 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 as he needs and tries to pound the door and try to get in because he's mad that we kicked him out of the bedroom or whatever. So it wouldn't even matter.
You mean when you kicked him out of the bedroom? Catherine has no parts of that.
We got him out because he would still make noise all morning and still wouldn't be able to sleep, right? Typically, the best way to handle it when Jasper is like this is just ignore him. And usually, after, maybe upwards of a half an hour to an hour, he'll get the picture, and he'll tire himself out, and he'll just go back to sleep and wake up whenever you do. In fact, it's weird because this week, he didn't bother me that much at all in the mornings. Usually, every once in a while, he will. This week, he didn't, and all of a sudden today, something irked him at 5 in the morning and woke him up to do this. So, it is what it is, alright?
The bacon must have been sitting overnight. He must have wanted to get a nibble, apparently.
FYI, last night, guys, I created a thread on my forums, thekingofhate.com, by which you can begin to nominate your favorite moments of my 11 years as a content creator, so that we can begin to get the stuff.
This is gonna be a jerk move, but all that smacking he was doing and all that nonsense. Maybe if he was doing a little bit more of that if he was doing a little bit more of that with Panda, she might not have left him. Well, maybe she'd not have left him that soon. I'm just saying.
Locked in for my retrospective event that'll be taking place in September. All right, and you're gonna say, what is that? Well, in September, I'm gonna be doing a retrospective marathon. Excuse me. This that was great. This marathon is going to be basically like my usual marathons. It's gonna last about, you know, anywhere from 7 to 9 hours, depending. And it's gonna be me going back and watching your personal favorite moments.
That's 100% a lie.
As being a content creator the past 11 years. It could be anything. It could be a game playthrough. It could be a game review. It could be a vlog, okay? It could be anything. And I put out the criteria in the forum thread. All right, so please check it out. It's over on thekingofhate.com.
I primarily rely...
Yet again, why isn't he letting people... Like, he should take more of those requests from Twitter. Not his dead, tumbleweed, fucking toxic forum. Like, just go ahead and put that shit up on Twitter. He'll get more responses that way, and he'll probably get better responses. And as Snort Burnell said, there's plenty of videos that he's gonna put in the quarantine. He's not gonna let see the light of day. So that's not true at all. He's very yet again he's limiting himself, and the amount of content that he has, which is all garbage, by the way. He's limiting the amount that he could actually show. He really is. And he doesn't even know what to play. You know, just like when he's actually playing games, he doesn't know what to play. And that's why those things are just dying out. He needs to stop. Just bite the bullet and just watch a marathon of Mighty D and Snort Burnell videos. Just do that for the retrospective stream. It'll be better. He'll get way more views, probably make a whole lot of cash off of it. And then the detractors have a whole bunch to laugh at. It works out for everybody.
On your guys' crowdfunding support in order to make ends meet and basically allow myself to keep doing this for a living. Okay? So, please, even though I appreciate cheering and subbing and other ways as well, all those contribution methods have a processing time. Meaning I have to wait a little bit to get any kind of benefit out of those. When you tip me, I get those funds right away. Give me your money.
Cliffy Bureau tipped me $5, said, "Can I bite your beard, you sexy man?" I mean, technically you could, but I don't recommend it. It pisses me off when Jasper does it. So can you imagine my reaction if you were to do it, right? Alright, so anyway, thank you, Cliffy Bureau, for the first tip of the day of $5. I appreciate that. Eternal Napalm cheered and says, "Borderlands 3 hype, 12 more days. I never played a Borderlands game until a few months ago, and I'm really excited for 3. Well, my feelings about Borderlands 3 are kind of mixed. Alright, here's why. I played Borderlands 1 as a solo game. Alright, and quite frankly, I didn't love it. I thought it was alright. And a lot of people told me, well, Phil, the reason that you didn't really love it is because you didn't play it the right way. Borderlands is meant to be a game you experience in co-op. You're supposed to be playing it with other people. So then, with Borderlands 2, I ended up doing a full co-op playthrough with my friend John Rambo. Now, this was a long time ago as well, you know, many, many years ago. Now, I'll be honest with you about this as well. I had a lot more fun with Borderlands 2 than I did with Borderlands 1. And I actually reviewed the game and said I thought it was good, but I think at the end it kind of got pretty grindy. And certainly, I felt that the game could have been a little bit better if it wasn't as grindy at the end. But overall, I still really enjoyed it, and I thought that it was a good game. Okay.
That's why the John and Howard playthroughs do so well on that channel. Well, they used to anyway.
And I still feel the same way about it. Like, I think it was a great game, but it could have been better. I ended up playing one of the DLCs for that as well. And essentially, when I started playing the DLCs, people were complaining, saying, Borderlands is boring. Borderlands is a game that, yeah, it can be fun, but essentially it's not very fun to watch me play for whatever reason. I don't know why, because people seem to usually like the camaraderie that I had when I did co-op with John Rambo. They really seemed to enjoy it back then. But for whatever reason, even back then, now we're talking, you know.
Yeah, but people grow up. People, you know what I'm saying? People go ahead and they watch other stuff, they experience other things, and their horizons span. That's the first thing. And obviously there's the debate that people like John more than they actually liked him. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, it's not like Phil has a shortage of people who wouldn't be willing to play with him. He still has Kekken. He still has Brian, which is the closest thing to John that he's going to probably ever get. And then there's a couple other mods who usually jump in who'd be willing to play. I'm sure Swaggins is a bitch and he ain't doing shit, so he'll do it. Like, he has people who he can have participate in a multiplayer setting with him, which would be more exciting. He just doesn't want to do it because, well, for one reason anyway, is he doesn't want to share the attention with anyone. As little as that spotlight is, he's not willing to share it with anybody else. So you're thinking about skipping a really, really good release. You know what I'm saying? A really good game, right? If you like the Borderlands series. You're going to skip it because you don't want to share the spotlight with anybody, and or we're going to sit here and reminisce off the alleged critics, right? Or the critiques that you received years ago. Mr. You need to stop living in the past. You guys need to live in the present. That's the reason why me and John are never going to do co-op. That's in the past. You guys need to let that go. But you're not letting it go. You're worried about some shit that people said to you 5 years ago? Or whatever, however long it was? Who cares? It's 2019. Try something else. Why are you so afraid to do something new? Because you're worried about what people said 4 years ago or 5 years ago or whatever it was, and most of them probably not even around anymore. Wow.
7 years ago, or whatever, how long it was, people were complaining that watching me play Borderlands with Rambo wasn't very entertaining, and
that's even worse. It was 7 years ago, and he's letting that shit eat away at him. Wow. It's bad enough Jasper's biting at the bacon before I even get a chance to cook it, but now you're sitting there worried about people. Excuse me. You're potentially worried about people burning the bacon before you ever get a chance to get into the pan. Wow, you can't live like that, man. You really can't.
I would do something else. So I did, if I remember correctly. I don't even know if we ever beat the DLC. I think we might have abandoned it, actually. I can't 100% particularly remember, but I know we had started it, and I don't know if we ever finished it because people were just complaining constantly they didn't really like it. So, I liked Borderlands 2, but it seemed like my viewing audience didn't particularly like it as much as I did. Alright.
What's going on? Stream chat's been over 2 minutes and no one said anything? What the hell's going on? There we go, now people are talking again. I think people were like falling asleep or something.
So now, fast forward to the summer. It was, I believe it was June, I want to say, when E3 came, and during E3, Gearbox announced, we're going to release a free DLC, completely for free, for Borderlands 2. Now, it had been a long-ass time since any new content had been, put out for Borderlands 2, so this was like, holy shit, like, this is crazy and unprecedented that they would even put something out this late in the life cycle of a game, right? Now, I, luckily, had Borderlands 2 for free because I was a PS Plus subscriber, and the game had been made free for PS Plus. So, I said, alright, I'll check it out. Let's check out this DLC. So I ended up playing it co-op with a few people, and I enjoyed it. I thought the DLC was good. Did I think it was amazing? No. Did I think it was passable? It was basically standard Borderlands fare? Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I felt it was pretty standard for Borderlands, and I enjoyed it. And I was like, okay, if this is like a taste of what's to come, then I think that's a good thing, okay? But, again, viewers complained. Viewers complained that when I played this co-op, they said, wow, this is boring. This game is not very interesting, This would have been way better if you did something else, And I'm like, damn, I don't know. Like, maybe just my viewing audience doesn't like watching me play co-op games anymore. At one point, maybe they did. But for whatever reason, I think what's happened is, over the past several years, I've just basically become a content creator that makes stuff solo. I don't really do co-op that often. And I think what happened is, people now are so...
This is him slowly but surely closing the coffin on himself. That's literally what you're seeing what you're listening to, I should say, right now. He's literally closing the coffin in on himself. He's literally trying. He is trying to isolate himself from everybody. That's how scared he is. That's how paranoid he is. Because if you only play solo and you shut off your mic, you don't have to worry about anybody talking shit to you. You don't have to worry about anybody making fun of you, and so on and so forth. A person who lives his life on the internet is scared of that very internet. Or scared of that very medium. He's literally closing the coffin in on himself. And nailing it shut. Holy shit.
Used to be doing stuff solo, right? That they're used to it now, and they're tired. Or not tired, but they just don't care about seeing me do stuff co-op anymore, for whatever reason. Even earlier this year, when I did things like Apex Legends. For the first 1 to 2 sessions, people seemed to like that I was doing co-op, and then after that, people complained that it was boring. So it seems like, I don't know, like, Borderlands 3, I'm sure, is going to be a good game. Like, I'm sure. You know, if it's anything like Borderlands 1 and 2, it's going to probably be an amazing co-op experience. But since I'm not known for co-op, and people seem to tell me the co-op when I play it is boring, should I even play Borderlands 3?
And I'll be honest, I'm on the fence about it. I don't know if I should even bother playing it, since it seems like a lot of people just don't really care about me doing co-op stuff. It's not about the money. It's not.
You know, you could try playing co-op with different people, yeah? You could just reach out to other people and do co-op with them. But he won't even do that either. So, because he can't control their chats and their comments. So that's not going to work either. That's crazy. Live interactive streamer who's literally trying to shut himself off from the world. Quite literally. Him being in his little glass box wasn't enough. Now he's trying to put himself into a coffin within that box and nailing it shut on his own. That's insane. That's absolutely ridiculous that you'd want to live like that and conduct your business like that. He literally is so scared of everybody that he wants no feedback, he wants no praise, he doesn't want any of that. He would rather just be alone. Wow. I told you, don't invest too much into him. It's not worth it. It really isn't. It really isn't. He's driving himself to irrelevancy right before our very eyes. Amazing. It's amazing a time to be a detractor. It's an amazing time to be a detractor.
I'm not here to take a paycheck.
That's just kind of the attitude that I have about it. And I guess you could say it's a shame, because, you know, if I miss out on a really great game because people don't like to see the co-op, I mean, that sucks. But I don't know. I really am on the fence. You know, I hope the game ends up being good, and I hope that, you know, as a
You can still play it solo though, right? Like, you can still play it solo. It's gonna be a whole lot harder, and you're gonna die a whole lot, but still do it. These are just not good reasons to skip a game, in my personal opinion.
Through, if I do it, that people would watch it. But again, I'm skeptical about people checking it out because of the experience that I've had previously with people reacting to the co-op. So I don't know. I am completely on the fence about this. I don't know what you guys think either. Alright. Goat Laugh Stream tipped me $1 and says, time to goat laugh at everything. Go har gar 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 gar. You are absolutely hilarious. I don't know who writes your material, but you should definitely start some kind of stand-up.
Salt, 90% of the time.
Because I think you're going places. You're honest with you. I think so. I think this is the kind of stuff that people want to see in their comedy. So I think you should get right on that immediately. And you might be rich. Who knows? You know, you never know. You might be filthy rich before you know it, okay?
Someone gifted a sub to a detractor. Hilarious. You're really funny, and I just want to say thank you for that. We always appreciate the detractors getting subs that they don't use. That's awesome. Thank you for that.
I mean, it's no different than the other people who are gifted subs who aren't going to use it and don't even show up. And there's a bunch of phantom sub recipients over there who don't use anything. So what's the difference? Who cares?
That very first dream of September, when I had no sleep because of Jasper, tap dancing on me all night.
That's basically him saying that it's Jasper's fault. Okay, here's the fun part. Let's see here. Here we go.
What? 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 What?
Wow. I mean, they really, like I said, it's amazing that they fucked his name up. That's so good. That's so good. It brings a small tear to the eye. Similar to The SnortBucks coffee. SnortBucks coffee. The best part of waking up. SnortBucks in your cup. I'm really surprised that they botched his name though. That's really fucking funny. That's really hilarious that they did that. But remember, Twitch loves him and his streams. Yay.
I like how you're laughing too.
Well, it's funny.
Still has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. I eBay. Contributions are mandatory, but I need your help. I am appealing directly to you. No decency, no respect, no common sense, no fucking maturity. Is the guy...
Not at all. Ladies and gentlemen, we will go ahead and cut that there because I feel like that's a good note to cash out on. Alright. As we set the mood here, let's go ahead and do a little bit of cleanup. Thank you yet again, Snort Burnell, because I very much appreciate it. As I know all of you do. Alrighty. So what do we take away from all this? Jesus Christ. Video number 2 was rant heavy as hell. It just hit me wrong. Let's see. Oh, that just hit me wrong. Okay, so the horror games, reactionary commentary. Yeah. So that is what that is. YouTube's bugged mechanics is, I mean, it is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it's just an archive and you don't rely on the income, why are we bitching about it? I never put DSP tries behind a paywall. I've given you guys 4 different examples. I'm not sure, but those are the 4 that I could at least think of that I remember being behind some type of paywall or having some type of stipulation that needed to be hit so he could do them. So, and that's just, you know, that's just the 4 that I remember. I'm sure there's plenty more. And I'm not married to Twitch. He has no choice. Like, that was a shotgun wedding like everything else. So it is what it is. Jasper, the troll, which I think is only fair now to christen him Jasper the Detractor. He did very, very good job. Very, very good. Granted, you probably shouldn't eat uncooked bacon, but you know, he'll learn. He'll learn as he sharpens his fangs. He'll know that he should wait till the pup in the sharp suit goes ahead and cooks it up. The skipping Borderlands is just a dumbass excuse. Yet again, 7 years removed, and we're still bitching and complaining about what someone said to him. But then again, he's still mad that somebody who used to be a fan of his called him a dinosaur. So he's still butthurt about that, and that was a long ass time too, if I remember correctly. Praise be Almighty for giving us that bit of lore. And for the Twitch bug mechanics, that shit was hilarious. That was hilarious. Twitch deserved to have egg on their face for that. And I know most of you are probably like, well, wow, that makes Phil look stupid. No, that makes Twitch look incompetent. That's what that really does. People need to be embarrassed. I'm not saying anybody should lose their job over that shit. No one should lose their job over Phil. But they should be embarrassed for that dumb shit. That shit was hilarious. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I know this one was long and rant heavy, but I do very much appreciate it. And I will see you guys for the next broadcast, whenever that may be. Hopefully sooner than later. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network and Productions. For the Snort Report, I am your host, /anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, guys. And the broadcast. I'm proud of you, Jasper. Continue to fight the good fight, sir. I might have to put the Jasper intro in for you. I wonder if I should use a different thing of music though, instead of Capcom vs SNK. Maybe we should give you that Persona 5. I guess we'll have to wait and see.